I muted myself. Yes, I was muted. Hi.
God damn it, Angela. She just did a speech about how good she was doing.
I know. I just did a speech on how good I was doing, about how I was like, I didn't forget to hit go live this time. I'm here, but I wasn't here. Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Can all of you hear me now? No, your ears aren't broken. It was just that I had the mic muted. Hello, everybody. Yeah, don't worry. I undid it a little while ago. It just takes a little bit of time for it to get there. All right, guys, you can hear me. So I had been saying I was really good, and I made sure that I didn't forget to hit the go live or anything like that, because I saw Luke chatting about it. If you didn't know, on my gaming channel on Friday, I think it was, I went live for 32 minutes before I actually realized that I hadn't hit the go live button, because for some reason on my PC it's set up to do that, and on my Mac when I'm like streaming here at the desk.
If only you had opportunities every day for many hours to change these settings.
Well, I get distracted by playing video games instead of doing that. So, well, what can I say? What can I say? But we are live. We are live. Kumquat? Okay. We are live, and we are here to build a Brettonian Knight. I actually have 2 boxes of the old Brettonian Knights. These came in the like big starter box that you might remember from like way back in the day for the old world. I think technically you might like get versions of this in the new Brettonian box set for the old world, but these are from the old ones. Listen, left-handed dragon. I've been using a Mac since college, and it has worked perfectly fine for me.
Perfectly is not the word I would use.
It has worked
for you
very well for me. And the PC is the one that has the thing set up to make me not go immediately live like I'm used to. The laptop, which happens to be the MacBook, is. So it's the good boy. And the PC in this case is the bad boy. It's fine. I am fully embracing PC Master Race. Don't worry. It is lovely to see everybody in chat, by the way. It's lovely to have you guys all super active. So we're going to build a Brettonian Knight today, because that's going to be the next painting tutorial. And I don't know, let's see. I think I might actually want this box. I noticed also that this doesn't have instructions except for on the side of the box itself.
Yeah, that's how they used to do it.
Which is just hilarious. All right, yeah, I think we can just use this one because all the plastic pieces that we need are in here. So I'm going to set those bits over here. We're going to set this box.
Some of the knights might be in that big box downstairs, too.
That is entirely...
Remember, that was the starter set for the Brettonians that came with the knights.
Yes, I do. But no, they're all right here. There's a whole butt ton of them. All right, so these are the dudes. Here are their helmets. Ooh. Okay, I think I did the dragon last time.
Yes, you did.
Okay, I got it.
You should, okay, just an idea.
Yes.
Maybe take some inspiration from Overlord.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I also do kind of like the horned guy. Because I could do the Green Knight. Not actually, because I don't have like the bits for that, but one that is inspired by. All right, let's see. We've got a bunch of different horses here. I'm probably just going to go with one that has its pieces attached still, where they're collectively together. Are their legs slightly different? They are. Do I like the more spread out legs? I think I do. Okay. I think I'm going to go with these horse legs. Now, there's a lot of different here. I'll zoom in so you guys can see these. Oh, also, look. Hey, look. An actual, like, ancient old sprue. Look at that. Holy moly. Or not sprue, decal sheet. Transfer sheet. That's the one I'm looking for. Look at all those beautiful old world transfers. You can kind of see the white ones. They're only when the, like, glossiness goes over them. All right. I'm going to put that with the rest of my transfers where it belongs. so it doesn't get smushed or anything. Ah, the slotted bases. All right, get all those over there. That's a random shield. All right, what horse head do we want? Let's zoom in. Then focus. All right, so we got this like pulling his head forward dude. I definitely did like chain. Like I definitely did it still doesn't want to focus. Hold on. I'm gonna get it to do it.
Should I go get the old knight for you?
Yeah, actually, can you get me my old knight? Because I want to see what I did on him so I don't like repeat. Is there a good football game going on? Nice. The old school heraldry is extremely sweet. I agree with you, Nighthawk. These kits, Star Fury, are probably from like 3rd edition Old World, or I guess Warhammer Fantasy Battles, because it's now called Old World. So I want to say they're from like 2005? You know, we could probably look at the box and find out. 2003. Haha! I was close.
It's only 22 years old.
But you can see right there, 2003. Aha! And here is my first Brettonian Knight. Okay, yeah, so this is the first one I did. He's so handsome. Okay, so I definitely did. Okay, so it was that. I'm gonna avoid that head then. Oh, but that's the cool looking head. I like the chain. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. We'll do a cloth head. Because I assume, or is this, are they supposed to, this guy has a cloth over his head. I can tell, is this guy supposed to have a cloth over his head? I can't, oh yeah, he does, okay. Because they're like, screw actually putting horse manes on these horses. That's for the wood elves or something. I don't know. Surely there's got to be. No, they are really sweet for 2003. Completely agree with you there. Okay, so we've got the body picked out. Oh, I have this head. No, those are all the. Okay, so I guess there's like a shit ton of this one head. 2 of the other heads. Do I just go ahead and use this head? I do really like that. No, let's do something different. Okay, I'm going to use one of an outstretched neck heads. That's what we're going to do there. So here's the body. Here's the head. Body, head. All right, now we need to figure out our knight. Now, before... Are their bodies all basically identical?
I think so.
It does look that way, yes. Okay. Excellent. I don't have to make choices there.
That's some of that old standardization of
Listen,
workshop.
I appreciate it, okay? I'm okay with a certain level of uniformity in that regard when I get to make decisions other places, like on the heads and accessories. Like, actually, that's something that I do really miss that I don't feel like GW does as much is I feel like back in the day, like the kits I would get, whether it be Warhammer Fantasy Battles or it would be 40K stuff, the models had a lot more greebly accessories that you could put on. And I'm talking like stupid stuff like little grenades or pouches on the belts that weren't pre-attached and you got to like mix and match however you wanted. And granted, I left them off half the time because I was lazy. And I didn't want to put those on every individual Space Marine I was building. But it's still cool that you had the option, because that's how you end up getting like the really cool built out, like purity sealed up and like really detailed models that people would kit bash together, is because you had all those Greeble bits to choose from and do that. And I just feel like you don't get that anymore. I think these are Knights of Brettonian.
Those are the normal.
So they're just the normal
standard
ones.
troop type.
Yeah, so it's just the normal.
Or core in Old World.
Yeah, it's just the core guys. I haven't decided what I'm going to do. Obviously, I'm going to be avoiding the gold, red, black, white color scheme.
Overlord.
So like black and purple and gold?
No, I mean like you can pick one of the kingdoms from the...
Ooh, I see.
Make him like a paladin and go with like the theocracy or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like the main group in Overlord that would actually have knights like this would be the slave theocracy. Slain theocracy, sorry. Because they have paladins. So that would be like white and blue.
White and mithril, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be very heroic looking. So I mean, which would not be I would not be opposed to.
You've done a lot of.
It's not something I've done a lot of, and I was thinking something blue because I don't use that color very often. So that might be what I end up doing. These were the first kits that you put together when you were a kid. That's awesome. Yeah, I love the Brettonian kits from old. It's like, I'm glad that they got re-released with the fantasy stuff or the old world stuff. I do wish they had given them some new like things a bit more than they did. I think they got like a new character or something like that, and that was about it. Did they get anything recently? Because I know like Khemri, I thought, got something new recently. Or Tomb Kings, I guess. Are they calling them Tomb Kings or Khemri? You're back from your 2-week vacation? Heck yeah.
Well,
vacations are always exhausting.
They have to trademark it, so it's going to be the Egyptica Undetica.
The Egyptica Undetica.
Or possibly it's the Undetica Egyptica, I'm not sure.
I mean, that seems likely. All right, why aren't you sliding in like a good boy? Get in there. All right, okay, before we do that, we got our legs. We got some accessories. All right, so let's get our top. What did I do for your top last time? Okay, just the rounded. So I think let's do, do the fleur-de-lis fit? Let me look at because I don't feel like the Riestes Kingdom really has knights much. Overlord Knights.
You might want to search Overlord Paladins.
Yeah, because when I get knights, I mostly get like
the generic.
I get Ainz and all of his knight armor.
Oh yeah.
Paladins. Images, please. Yeah, it's gonna be so brown leather, plate mail or like mithril, and then white and blue trim.
Yeah, they almost have a color scheme similar to the old world Hiles of Ulthuan.
Yeah, actually, they really do. This is kind of the idea that I'm basing, or the character. So doing like and I have the perfect metallic, I think, for this already. I know exactly what I would do. I need to find a really good like baby blue, because it's not even like ultramarine blue. It's like a baby blue.
Bright sky blue.
Yeah, it's like a bright sky blue with a pure white. I need to look up what their symbol is, because I think it does appear to be eagle-esque.
Yeah, I think it's an Aquila.
It's kind of an Aquila. It's like a sitting in an omega symbol kind of with wings. So do I think maybe, because they don't really have decorations, maybe I should just do the eagle then for the helm. I could go with a basic helmeted dude, because there are just these generic heads. Oh, I could do an unhelmeted guy. Okay, so in regards to armor, okay, let's not look at the hero character because she has fancy stuff. I think I'm gonna go with this one based off of the armor that I'm seeing. I mean, technically, like, it is an isekai, like Sword Art Online.
But he's not isekai'd into a video.
But he's not isekai'd
into... He's isekai'd into a fantasy universe.
Yeah, he was isekai. So the concept in Overlord, it's still an isekai, like a lot of anime is nowadays. But one of the reasons I actually really like it is that instead of him being a like normal dude from Japan isekai'd into like a video game that he was playing, he is a normal dude in Japan who was playing in a video game as it was being shut down, and his character in the video game, along with his consciousness from the real world, got isekai'd into a just fully, we don't even know where it is in the universe, but it is a existing fantasy world that has like magic a la the game that he came from, but is definitely not the game.
All the lore
like,
and everything. It's basically like if you had been isekai'd into a D&D game that used the rules of D&D, but was not the universe
of D&D. Exactly. That is exactly what it is. And I find that idea and the fact that he is a lich, so he has like literally his emotions are being physically suppressed by like his race. Because of what he is now. Like
he doesn't have an adrenal system.
Yeah, he doesn't have an adrenal system. He doesn't have like bowels. He is literally a skeleton. Like he is a elder lich. And it's just, I don't know, it's a really fun concept. I really enjoy it. And also like Albedo is great. And Demiurge is great. And all of his like servants are great. Yeah, they really, no, the new miniatures completely lack the customization. Missing the, like, not having all these extra little bits is a huge missed opportunity on GW's part completely. Okay, so I think we have the chest. Now we just need to figure out the head. So I am kind of leaning towards just doing maybe one of the generic helmets to make it look like, well, okay, hold on. Let me look at their, like, what is her, like, paladins of the Holy Kingdom.
They have very open-faced helmets.
Yeah, but I want to make sure, like, do they have any kind of, like, ornamentation on them? Not really.
On them?
Some of them had horns, it looked like. Okay, can we see them with the helmets, please?
No.
Helmets. They're all like open, like they're all showing their faces. Okay, that's Touch Me. Oh my god, I could base him off Touch Me. But no, I think doing it off of the Riesti, or not the Riesti, the Slain Theocracy is probably the better idea. Yeah, I really don't see much for helmets. So I'm thinking in that case, honestly, I might do this open helm right here.
You can see, like, here's one of the knights from the cover art.
Okay, yeah. And so if I were, okay.
Do you see on my screen?
Yeah, I do see that. Which of... I don't think the super ornate ones with an emblem on top I should use then in this case.
I think doing a more subdued one is correct.
Okay, can you look at... I'm going to hand you the sprue. There's a, like, 8 heads next to these shields. Can you tell me which one you think? I'm thinking one of the open, like the rounded open helmet. Like the one with the face exposed.
Yes. That was actually exactly where my head
Okay,
went.
cool. That's where I'm leaning to. I was like, I feel like that's going to be the best match. Perfect. All right. Snip. All right, so I have the body, the head, the legs, and then we just need accessories. I'm almost thinking... Let's see, what do they... They mostly had swords, correct? Okay. So I do have a sword hand here, which I could use because I actually gave the last guy a spear.
Lance.
I'm sorry, a lance.
It's called a lance. Hello.
Thank you. Oh, man.
I can't believe you would get that wrong.
I know, I can't believe I would get that wrong either. Such shame I have brought onto a Knight's Tale. All right, so that's one. That's your other arm. Okay, cool. That is your other arm. I get to give you a shield. So we'll go with that one. And then, actually, we'll go with this one because it's simpler and we did the more advanced one on the last one. So put that over there. Shield, and then is there anything else I want to add? Let's get them built and then we'll see what accessories we may want to put on. I could also make him, instead of holding a sword, I could give him a banner.
You could, that would be cool.
I have time to work on it.
You do.
Do I want to give him a banner? I could put the Riesti symbol on it then.
I vote that.
Okay, it's been voted.
My vote is worth -2 votes, though.
That's not at all actually true. Your vote is like worth 50 million votes. You really, if you vote on it, then I do it.
You shouldn't do that.
That's what? Why?
You should be your own woman.
I am.
Your own independent lady.
But I like your suggestions.
Bah humbug.
Bah humbug. All right. Also, I love banners. It'll be fun to do that. Okay, so we got that. Screw this arm. We don't need that arm anymore. Okay, I think we have our main pieces. Let's get to work. Boop, 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 boop. Oops. This is what I wanted. I was going the wrong direction. All right, there we go. Set that over there. We don't need these pieces, I don't think, anymore. So we'll just keep that there. I have like a bazillion bases, which I don't need piled in front of me. And now we need some sanding tools for me to unstick my feet from underneath my butt because I was sitting on them like it's like an idiot. Okay, I need sanding tools and then my mold line remover. There it is. Mold line remover. There we go. I'm not going to be making a full army specifically. Like down the line, sure, I'll probably end up with one.
Slowly.
Yeah, it's a very slowly. But I have been wanting to work on something old world. And I've been watching a lot of Overlord, the anime, if you're familiar with it, also a light novel. Been listening to a lot of the light novel as well. And so I've had like high fantasy knights and paladins and stuff in my head. And I've also recently started a D&D campaign where I am playing a paladin. So that vibe has been in my brain. And so I just figured, you know what, let's go ahead and build, because I have a bunch of these. I bought these during COVID actually. And have been slowly building them up. And by slowly, I mean I've literally built one and painted it.
And Brettonian and the trebuchet.
Oh, you're right. I did do the trebuchet.
This will be the third Brettonian tutorial.
This will be my third Brettonian tutorial because yes, I have done a few others. I almost forgot about the trebuchet. Man, I loved the trebuchet painting tutorial. That was so fun to do. Getting to work on all those little peasants. Oh, so fun. I love the peasants because they're so hideous. And it was so great to bring them to life. Ooh, dwarves, nice. I'm not huge, like, I'm also not huge into playing Age of Sigmar. I've played a little bit of Spearhead. I do like the small, like 500 point scale version of Age of Sigmar. I think they did a pretty good job balancing that because I feel like it's honestly designed to be way more casual than competitive is. And I just think competitive as a whole is an issue right now in Games Works. Yeah, like just in general, it like competitive is a problem. And I think it's actually kind of killing their game. But regardless, sad but true. But I really like the miniatures. Like Age of Sigmar gets some gorgeous, really fun and somewhat experimental sculpts for their miniatures based off of like some of the whimsical things that they're doing, the way that they're like making people look like they're floating, etc. Like they're getting some really cool stuff. They don't have the same accessory detail and that kind of thing as or flexibility because they do have accessory details, but they're in a specific spot and they make it so that you can't really mess with those as easily.
Rules even like dissuade you from modifying the pose or accessories for the sake of line of sight.
True, and which is like just a weird. Again, I think competitive is slowly destroying their game. I know they always do this, right? Like it's not even like this is new. I feel like they go through waves of doing this, but we're in another really bad one, I feel like. But yeah, I was just feeling something old world. And this is a like vintage kit like I've had. It's from the OG Warhammer Fantasy Battles, hence the red box that it came in and everything. So yeah, I thought we would spend some time today and we're going to build it up. Oh, thank you for becoming a Hobby Knight Legion member, ordinary citizen voice actor. It's lovely to have you join our community. Thank you so much for being here and for the support. I know, right? It's so annoying when I have to get something from those back shelves, right? Just the worst, the absolute worst. Sad. Okay, we need to clean up his hoof. It is astounding how gigantic some of the mold lines used to be, though. Like, I understand why people were a bit more, like, anal about getting rid of them back in the day. And why that sort of transferred for the longest time into, like, modern. Whereas, like, I feel like they're really not as egregious as they used to be. But don't get me wrong, some of them still are. What I find worse is just when they really split things in weird places. Like when toes are split on models or whatever. Like I know it's just so that you can't reshape the foot or adjust it in some way.
I heard another.
Yes, Luke used his membership for 8 months to say, I'm an OG player, competitive player, just it doesn't need to go silly. I agree. I think that's the problem is I think they've allowed it to get, honestly, what I think that the problem is they've allowed it to get too serious. Ooh, a week ago you purchased some Army Paint or Speed Paints and you're going to use them to finish the other 5 of your Dark Angel Inner Circle and your special characters? Heck yeah, that sounds awesome! Dark Angels are so fun to work on. Talk about Marines that do still somewhat get like accessories and such. I do feel like Dark Angels are one of the lucky few. Because even like, I mean, I feel like even when we were looking at the new Space Wolves, they didn't have as many runes and stuff on them as they used to. At least they had like fur textures out the wazoo. Like that I will not say that they skimped on when they did the Space Wolves. Thank goodness. I was really worried about that. That they were gonna just like somehow just mess up the fur texture and really, really bork the Viking vibe. But honestly, the face sculpts, they really nailed it. So I have looked into Infinity a couple of times, and I even have a starter kit from it. and a couple of like special character models from it as well that I got actually, I think at Gen Con in 2019 or so. So it's been like forever. I haven't looked into it like recently. My biggest problem with Infinity is I never really got into the aesthetic of Infinity. It's a little too generic looking for me. And I just didn't really have an easy time super identifying the various like factions well. And so they started to feel a little too similar. It's honestly one of the things that I kind of had an issue with Warhammer Hordes back in the day too. Of like I felt like a lot of the models, like it was cool because all the armies had like small, medium, and large sized models, so there was a lot of scale, but it was all identical scale to each other, and so it really made telling the armies apart kind of difficult. And I feel the same thing when I look at Infinity characters. Maybe it's just because I haven't looked at enough of them, and I've not really looked into the lore at all, but it never really appealed to me. Like, I'll be honest. Like, I'd honestly rather get into something like Trench Crusade or something like that, because the grimdark like aesthetic is still one of the big draws for me into Warhammer originally, because I really like that look. And so I kind of gravitate towards games that have that. Oh, thank you, Star Fury. I'm really glad that you enjoyed the hobby tour video, or the hobby studio space video. I had a lot of fun making that with the Chaos Cultist. And it was something that actually people had been requesting. So I was like, sweet, yeah, that's a fun video for me to make. And it forced me to clean my house. Woo! All right, I think we're looking good there. We needed to get the mold line on the front. Man, if I had had this mold line remover tool when I was first getting into the hobby, I think I would have gotten so much more into the painting side, because I would have had cleaner models to work on that I didn't feel unsafe like scraping the stuff off of, because I don't like using X-Acto blades. You're going to do a Deathwing one, a Ravenwing one, and then you're going to paint a Pre-Heresy, Ironwing, Stormwing, and Firewing, and a Dreadwing? Heck yeah, that sounds awesome, Ordinary Citizen voice actor. Heck yeah. Nice. I was about to ask if you had Lionel Johnson, but you answered that question before I even got to answer it or ask it. So very cool. He's a gorgeous model. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. And then we just need to do his tail. Move that down. Excellent. I'm going to do the underside of it a little bit too. There we go. Oh, no worries. They're there when you get to them. I shall not punish you for not being on top of the current video schedule.
I will.
Okay, Chaos Cultist will. But it's only him you have to worry about. Okay, there we go. Let's see. The other side looks pretty good. think that's where he's going to sit, so I don't really need to worry about that. Although I did forget the mold line on this lovely outstretched hoof. There we go. Is that enough? Have you guys ever like look really closely at these and notice that there kind of looks like there's like fingerprints sometimes in like the sculpts? I don't know if that's just like my eyes playing tricks on me because I'm staring at it so intently, but I swear it looks like there's fingerprints. All right, let's see if these slide together real nice and easy. Pretty good. Okay, let's get him glued together then, and then we can do a bit more mold line cleanup. Although we do maybe want to shape / smooth the inside here because it does kind of look like it's not wanting to grip super well. So let's just take a little tiny bit off with our sandpaper. There we go. All right, glue. I think the Tamiya stuff will work on this. Oh, don't worry about it. It's genuinely fine. Ah, the fingerprint look is because the plastic's cooling before it was injected into the large void of the mold. Even some of your infantry back then has a... Okay, I'm glad that it actually is a thing that I'm legitimately seeing. I thought it was. I assumed it had something to do with the the injection mold process, but I wasn't sure like exactly what. But yeah, it totally definitely looks like there's fingerprints on there sometimes, and that has to be it. The Brettonian horses are pretty easy to work with. I haven't built any of the Rough Riders for the guard, so I can't compare them specifically, but I mean, I feel like a lot of these kits, just in general, are a bit nicer than the modern ones in certain regards, but are worse than others. All right. Ooh, let's actually get a little bit of glue on this side too, just so we get a firmer, better stick. A stronger bond, one might say. And a smush. All right, let's press it together. Do a little inspection, make sure we're lined up nicely. We're definitely gonna want more glue down there. You always feel that GW went over and complicated some of their kits when they didn't need to. They absolutely have, and I think the main reason they do that is specifically so that you can't like change them as much. They really got butthurt about people like kit bashing and modifying and doing and other things for them, even though they definitively used to actually encourage people to do that, including building like, I know it was a different team. It's just, it's sad to see the corporate greed take over. We're not talking about that Bond, not James Bond. Just my glue bond so that this horse really sticks together. Yes, I was gonna say, yeah, do you want to open the window a little bit so that we're not Killed by the fumes. The outfit for the thumbnail is unfortunately not appropriate for YouTube, which is why it's only being used in the thumbnail.
And I got him.
Oh, shit! That's terrifying.
I told you it was.
Yeah. Which is why it's not being used. But if you do want it, it's not false advertisement. You can still find that. You should have to go elsewhere too. You know, green putty is still, yeah, green stuff is still my friend. That's true. I could always use that if I need to, but I think we're fine. I think we're fine. See, I agree. Like, I feel like that is honestly, like, I feel like that is a reason a lot of people ended up gravitating towards certain armies. Orcs especially, kit bashing was super, super, super generous towards, right? I think I think certain Space Marines also got to have a lot of kit bashing happen for them. Guardsmen got a lot of kit bashing, etc. Like, it's great. Oh my gosh, you probably have several British pounds then, huh? I know, we all are really bad about that, I'm sure. Not properly ventilating when we're using caustic adhesives. There we go. Let's see. That doesn't really need to be super clean because his butt's going to go there, but I do want it to be smooth so that he sits well on it. All right, and then we need to clean up this ridge a bit more. Which is always the most, like, annoying thing to clean up, if I have to be honest. Anytime they put, like, a little rivet on, like, a strap or some other kind of thin thing, and then they're just like, here, let me put a humongo mold line running directly down that. Great job. What'd it drop?
Its own head.
Oh, cool. Going to assume that's used in, like, armor or something. I think we need a bit more glue. Oh, the blonde wig, yeah, or the white blonde wig. My sister of battle wig. My sister Bob, I guess is what I should call it. Squeezing his butt together. All right, the rest of them. Oh, there's a big mold line there, though. Okay. Let's get rid of that. Okay, smooth that away. Not entirely, though. Okay, I think that's looking good. Why does your butt look like it has a big ass gap there? Okay, I am gonna pull out some green stuff.
Is it the butt?
No, I'm wondering if something attaches there.
Is it the butt? Where is it?
It is by his tail. It's where his cloth like portion connects to the other side of the tail. It's just there's like a weird.
There's a hole for where the tail goes in.
No, the tail's already attached.
Oh, okay.
It's just a weird gap.
Okay.
a big ass chunk of sprue that I just left on there. Definitely need to smooth that down. Their new model, yeah, Space Wolves are definitely getting a lot of new love with their new models. Like, they're still simplified in certain ways. Like I said, they don't have as many runes, I don't remember. And I don't feel like they have like as many like necklace accessories and that kind of stuff as I feel like I remember from back in the day. But at the same time, I've also seen like too many like kit bashed Space Wolves that I don't actually know which is like just a kit bash and which is something GW actually did. But their faces and the hair are amazing. Yes, Blood Angels are severely lacking. Blood Angels got severely just ruined, I feel like, with the modern updates and their removal of their accessories. Them and Black Templar, I feel like, are also getting hit a bit for that. Basically anything that could be like considered problematic for GW on a like political or religious sort of connotation, they have just been absolutely getting rid of. Because they just don't want to deal with controversy. Which is just annoying. Bit cowardly. Definitely greedy. Because they're not funny anymore either. Which is like my biggest boo-hoo actually about a lot of these changes, is by removing some of that detail and stripping away some of that flavor, they're also removing some of the humor. Because it used to be like edgy humor, and heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. Emperor forbid, really. It's the blood iconography. It's not necessarily that like I think them as a like faction are controversial in any way. I think the iconography of the Blood Angels, because it's all very blood, vampires, like Catholic Church-esque, like I honestly think that's where the controversy comes from. It's like, because it could be considered like all of the blood drops could be like weirdly taken as blood of Christ or something like that. And it can, and especially since there's the red and the gold and the angel contribution, like, or aesthetic and everything like that. Like, there's so many different things that could be tied to, frankly, Catholicism. And I think they want to avoid that. GW's always been ashamed of blood sucking. That's why they haven't really introduced any sort of like fetishist anything into the game. And when they did initially with Slaanesh, they were like, oh, fuck, we have to pull this back immediately.
Well, one of those people just aren't there anymore.
That too. Well, new people came in and went, oh my God, who let them do this? We have to pull that back immediately. Because yeah, none of the people who did any of the fun stuff back in the day are actually there anymore. What happened to the Crimson Fists? I mean, I think they're like still running around. I mean, they're a small chapter to begin with because they got their asses kicked by orcs at one point. And I don't know if they got Primaris and then like recovered after they got Primaris, maybe. So I'm sure they're fine at this point, but I'm not really. I just feel like the Crimson Fists have not really had a huge amount of support since 4th edition. When did Pedro originally come out? Because they never updated him into plastic, as far as I know. I know, the DMATs from back in the day were great. And GW was like, no, they're titties. Boobs are so unnatural.
True.
We can't show that.
Nope.
Nipples, guys, nipples. We don't have them. They scare us.
They do.
It's what, listen, I'm upset that the fucking Sanguinary Guard lost their nipple sculpts, okay? I miss the nipple sculpts. I was upset about it when they first announced it, and I am still upset about it.
Hashtag justice for Angela's nips.
Justice for my nips. So annoying. It was so funny. Like, it was just so dumb and so funny and like, and very Roman. Which I think is also part of the problem. They don't want to, like, despite the fact that, like, I feel like half of the freaking Space Marines are based off the goddamn Romans in some way. They really also seem to want to avoid a lot of that, like the fact that they haven't just ditched the Aquila yet, like the two-headed eagle. I'm surprised.
How dare you?
Could you imagine if they did that? I think people would like lose their minds. I know I would. When the Imperium gets reset in whenever either the Emperor's reborn, dies and becomes a god, sucks us all into the warp because we're avoiding the Tyranids, who knows what happens. But when that happens, when that reset, that world reset that GW inevitably is going to do to Warhammer 40k in the same way that they did to the old world and changed it into Age of Sigmar, I think that's when like that's when they're gonna ditch the Aquila. And if that happens, I'm gonna like just scream. Mostly because of me being like, having like called it. But also being furious that I called it. Because I don't want that to happen. But I could weirdly see it happening. You just turned in and so the first thing you hear is someone shouting about nipples. Listen, the fact that the Sanguinary Guard don't have nipples on their armor anymore is very upsetting to me. Is Old World worth buying into? I think so.
If you're into the hobby.
If you're into the hobby side, then I would say yes. I can't speak to it from like a gameplay standpoint because I have yet to actually play a new Old World game, but I really like I appreciate that GW brought the old kits back. I miss them. This is actually an OG kit from my actual Warhammer Fantasy box. But you can get this exact same kit. Oops. There goes my camera. Hold on. Let me fix that. Oh, there we go. You can get this exact same kit in the modern like Brettonian stuff. Okay. So you sit like that. You're a bit gappy. Can I fix that? Can I? That actually worked pretty well. Let's deal with that. Oh my God, is that something that PETA actually did? I mean, I'm not surprised. PETA's like crazy like that. They'll go after whatever they can, really. It's plastic sculpts. They're not using real animals. Like that's genuinely a dumb thing for them to go after. Like they're not real. They're literally made of plastic. How is that harming or like hurting an animal? All right, the horse's head is attached. We're just holding it. Thank you for subscribing, Sprue and Glue. It's lovely to have you join us. Oh yes, Michael, that is exactly my plan. So I've already done this knight. Here, let me while this head's attaching. So this is the first one that I did, like about a year ago, actually. This army's coming together very slowly. It's not a priority. I just really like painting it when I am in the mood for doing something like fun and different. So I have this knight, which I did in a, frankly, my Blood Angels color scheme, with a little bit of extra white in there. And what we're going to do for this guy is, I don't know if you're familiar with the lovely anime / light novel series called Overlord, but I have been obsessed with it recently. And there is a group in there called the Slain Theocracy, which I always hear them say as slave theocracy, but it's definitely slain theocracy. But I definitely hear slave theocracy every time. The Slain Theocracy, and they have they're like a big, like, holy group of paladins. There's a lot of paladins.
They're the Holy Human Empire.
Yeah, they're the Holy Human Empire, and I figured what I would do is I'd base this knight off of them. So I'm gonna do a platinum armor, like a mithril, like platinum colored armor, and then it's gonna be a sky blue and white color palette with a bit of gold for some of the accessories, and then a lot of brown leathers. It is the Tamiya extra thin cement. I love this stuff. This brush tipped applicator is my favorite thing in the world. Not actually, but like quite one of my favorite things. It's great. It makes the hobby so much easier. Because I can just take it and I can slide it into that gap that I see there and be like, get more glue in there. And then I can press it down and get rid of it. Well, see, Michael, the benefit of doing it once, like building a knight and painting a knight once a year, means that I don't have to go crazy doing it because I'm not spending all of my time doing it. I'm doing it only when I feel like it. You're arm wrestling the Tracer and Tarantula weapon stations. The Tracer one could do nicely and turn into an alien autogun. Ooh. I need to, hold on, Alex. I need to look up and see what these look like because I like, that sounds interesting. Oh, nice. Is Shay streaming right now? Excellent. I totally agree with you, Black Country Apex nerd. Tommy Extra Thin Cement, total godsend for your models. So good. Obviously, the only downside is that if you happen to be working on either resin or metal miniatures, obviously it doesn't work on that. But if you're working on plastic stuff, holy moly, does it work just wonders. Is it a sentry gun? Okay, hold on, I'm gonna look up. All right. You said it was called the Tracer. No, not the Traitor. Oh, those from Necromunda. Got it. Okay, that's
Trazen. I thought Necrons.
Well, that's why I was trying to look it up as well, because I also was like thinking of Trazen, but I was like, wait, I don't think this is like spelled correctly, so I don't, but I was going Necron in my head because it did also, I was also thinking Trezor. Oh, so that you can just work on your Reaper minis as you want to when you're feeling the need to do something different. Exactly. Like, honestly, it's one of the things I've had people ask me recently, like, oh, what do you do when you're like, when you hit a rut and you don't know, you're just tired of working on the same thing, etc. And my go-to is always like, I go to my box of like random shit and I find something and I work on it. Because I need it to be like really different from whatever like my actual project might be. That's honestly one of the reasons that I worked on that Lizardman terrain, is because one, I had a project idea for it, but I was like, I really want to I want to work on something big. Like I want to work on something that doesn't require a lot of like detail work when it comes to color, like painting it, but I can still do some detail work, and it worked perfectly for that. And yeah, D&D minis work great for that. Actually, you might be seeing me paint on some of my hobby streams in the near future working on more D&D miniatures, but because I am in a D&D game that Chaos Cultist is running for myself, Shay, and then her partner Seth, I'm really excited and I want to get some more of our like minis prepped for it. And so you might end up seeing a little bit of that on the channel down the line, depending on what he may or may not need. I don't think we have any of the frog guys, the bullywugs.
No. If we do, they're in the random like, bones. I'm not pulling those.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. All right, let's get this. There you go. Yeah, work on your guard army. Something you're not necessarily planning on playing anytime soon, but like you just like aesthetically. And because like what I find happens, and I always try to pick something that I think I'm going to enjoy working on or that has like aesthetic appeal to me or that I like look at and I'm like, oh, I immediately have a color scheme idea for that. Maybe that's what I should just work on right now to get that out of my head. Because I find it to be refreshing and it takes you away from like the bog of being really in a rut of like, okay, I've been working on this one project for like X amount of time, whether it be a big batch painting project, whether it be like you're just working on a single miniature, but it's been taking you like months or whatever because you're being really picky or very just like, it's like specific about how you want it to turn out, etc. And I find it works really well to do that. All right, I think his head does not want to stay down like I want it to. Maybe if I put a little bit more glue here too. I think it's gapping there as well, and that's causing a little bit of this raise. All right, now press. I think that was the problem. I'm just going to press his little head in there for a little bit. You know, that's true. If you do cut off the blade arms of a Gene Stealer, you kind of do have the start of a Xenomorph. Speaking of Xenomorphs, as I've been playing more of Ambiotic Factor, or no, not Ambiotic, Abiotic Factor, we've run into a stealth creature that has like 6 arms that I definitely felt like was a lich when I first ran into it, which was terrifying and awesome. I'm going to make this horse stick to itself. So help me, Emperor. Franz. Because we're an old world, damn it. And when we refer to the Emperor, that's who we're referring to. We're not streaming it anywhere. It's just a private deal. We're not it is a homebrew, which I'm very excited for. But yeah, I'm very hyped for it. Oh, shit. Do not lift on me, you bastard. Okay. I think okay, we're taking the head off. We're smoothing it down. Because it's really not wanting to settle in there the way that I want it to. And frankly, it's pissing me off. Because it keeps, like, I'll get one side in there and then it'll gap on the other side. And I'm like, you mother trucker, stop it. Stop it. That's true. You're right. My apologies. You're absolutely right. The Brettonians don't refer to the emperor. You're right. They refer to the lady. By the lady. Because they're actually just Arthurian. They're actually just being completely, absolutely tricked by the Wood Elves. But that's fine. We forgive them. These naive humans. No plastic horses have been harmed on this stream. I didn't just rip that horse's head right off of his shoulders. The poor Uma Musume. Wait, wrong type of horse. All right, buddy. Please stop getting stuck on my finger. Okay, that feels a bit better. And if it gaps again this time, I'll pull out the sprue glue. Because I forgot I had that. Because, yeah, it's really... Okay, we're going to press it down on this side, and then we're going to sprue glue the other side. Sprue glue. Amazing. I'm playing a very punchy paladin, which has been a lot of fun so far. All right, that side is on there. Let me grab the sprue glue. You guys are so sweet. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can do this cleanly. Oh my god, the old, like, all the metal, oh, don't even get me started on, like, having to glue those metal horses together. Or really, like, any of the metal stuff, like, duh. There's a reason that my Pedro Cantor from back in the day is still in his container. Or maybe it's Lysander. I can't remember which one
Lysander.
I didn't. Yeah, it might be Lysander. That's,
It
yeah.
is.
Did I build Pedro?
I think so.
Did I? Okay. Fine. There's a reason Lysander has never been opened, because gosh darn, building those metal miniatures sucked. I hated it. Oh, you know what? Maybe I can use this to do that gap fill too. Where his butt's being weirdly low. There. That's a bit better. You guys remember when they used to make the like vehicles in metal? Anyone have any like those old like whirlwinds? That were made of metal, like the chassis? All right, I think we actually filled that. I might smooth it a little bit here in a moment, but horse, I think, can just be, I'm going to set him off to the side. Loosely into his stand. So he stays upright. Huzzah! And we'll let him dry. And we'll work on the knight. Because I think I'm going to probably keep them separate for painting purposes. I think that's what I did last time. I don't remember. I'll have to watch the video. But it would make sense to me. That's what I did. A metal hive tyrant? Oh my god. That must weigh a ton. And like, does it fall over a lot? Because I imagine it would fall over a lot. Okay, and then... Okay, this does not want to fit in here properly. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? All right, let me get an X-Acto blade. I need something thinner than the, unfortunately, the mold line remover will be. Okay. Go. Okay, that's pretty good, actually. So let's now clean up the mold lines on his crotch. Oh, the metal screamer Carnifex. Again, that must have weighed a ton.
They were smaller.
I guess that's true. I guess they were smaller. Does anybody have like the OG, like Rogue Trader Tyranids, the real derpy ones? Because those are genuinely a majestic piece of artwork. Okay, there we go. I think that looks pretty good. A little bit on this side. Oh, I know, right? So much has changed. Welcome back, Left-Handed Dragon. It's lovely to see you here again. A fully metallic or metal Nagash? Holy cow. Dude, that sounds just insane. How big was he back then? Because, like, modern Nagash is, like, huge, ain't he? He's, like, Primarch scaled. God, that scared the shit out of me. I just heard the softest of scratching, like on the wall, and I had for a moment no idea where it was coming from. It was the wind blowing my blinds from the open window because I'm working with the glue right now, but I forgot it was open and there has been like no air movement since except for that. And I was not looking up. So I was like, where is that noise coming from? Because Chaos Cultist was not in the room at the time. He had like left to go get himself a drink. That was scary. I was like, what is happening? Am I being attacked? Is there a creature in this room? The ghosts of Warhammer passed. Oh my god, no. All right, I think his butt's gluing. I'm gonna clean up his arm. Actually, we should clean up his chest because that's the next thing that needs to get attached. Time to pay tithes to the chaos god. Oh no. I pay my tithes every day. Pretty sure I've already made that today. They have my undying loyalty already. Sometimes the like one groove of a mold line will just be the worst paint. You know, oh my god, you're absolutely right, Nighthawk, because it was coming from like the direction of my paints. So they were just, it was like my paints are going, use us. And I'm like, guys, calm down. I'm not at that step yet. I'm still building the damn thing. Haven't even put primer on him yet. You want to just slosh off of him like a madman? You guys have conversations with your paints, right? I'm not the only one. All right, we're looking pretty good there. I believe that is where the shield will connect. Yeah, and that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and attach. The Call of the Gray. Oh, God. There's so much in this house, though. Beautiful. You're sure they swear right back? Probably. You talk to yours all the time. You tell them how good of boys and girls they are. Excellent. You must praise the plastic, else it won't, bend to your will. Treat it nicely so that it treats you nicely. You're not quite that mad yet? Don't worry, Craig. If you keep watching, you'll get there slowly. We'll convert you, don't worry. Don't you worry. The Cathay miniatures look great. And if I had to, okay, if you wanted to get into an old world, army that is brand new, that has all fresh plastic, Cathay is the one to go with. Because until they release, Kislev down the line, which who fucking knows when that's going to happen because of the Ukraine-Russia war, those are probably the only actual, fully new sculpt that you're going to see in the old world kits. Otherwise, they're just going to keep reproducing and pulling back out those old kit designs. Which, again, not necessarily, a complaint. I do like them. But holy cow, is the fidelity on the new ones amazing. They did do an exceptional job on those Cathay miniatures, especially the Sentinels. I mean, the dragon, their leader, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but the dragon woman who has the human version of herself and then the dragon version of herself, holy fuck, so cool. Sometimes I want this to look a little bit more like cloth than I think it sometimes does. There are some harsh edges on these folds. And I know it's kind of stiff cloth, but I don't think it'd be quite that stiff. Okay, there's one section here that I don't know if I'll be able to get, but I'm going to see if I can. Maybe if I use the X-Acto. Miao Ying, thank you. Yes. I think you're right. I do think that is her name. Yeah, no, that reveal, her whole reveal trailer and everything for Cathay and that army, really nicely done. And again, it kind of goes back to the fact that I feel like there's a certain level of effort GW's putting into some of their fantasy stuff over their 40K stuff on designs. And again, I think it's because a lot of the 40K stuff gets tied back to Catholicism and other religions and other problematic things, and GW's really trying to avoid that, but so annoying. So annoying, but it's fine. It's fine. That's why we're working on old world stuff anyways. Because it's fun and it looks cool. And I want to paint a knight. Please don't cut myself. I just want to cut the plastic. Not my fingers. Ugh. This is why I get stressed about using X-Actos, because it gets real close to my flesh. And I'm like, eep. Listen, I'm a big baby, okay? I nicked myself one too many times when I was younger. And the stress of that just was like, it became too much. I finally got what I was trying to get though. Okay, but can I get that now? Can I squeeze this between like I did before and make it a little smaller? Oh my God, wait, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I literally have thinner versions. I'm like sitting here trying to squeeze this thing in here, the thick one, and going, why am I struggling so much? I could make my life so much easier by literally using the thin one. The one that might actually fit in the gap between these banners. Go figure. I hate when I do that live on camera and embarrass myself. Like a fool. It's okay. It's okay. You guys can just learn from my dumbness and not make the same mistakes. It's cool. Okay, I think I finally got the edge that I kept seeing and I could not see. I don't even know if you guys were seeing it, but I could see the edge of like this one mold line that was in between the gaps there, and it was driving me nuts. Oh, my camera went off. Hold on. Taking care of it. Space rats. Oh my God, yes. Space rats would be cool. I do not have a specific army that I have looked into in detail for Trench Crusade, but honestly, all of them have so far looked like all of the like brief look into them that I have done. There hasn't been a single one that hasn't been appealing. So I don't know which one I'd pick. I do like the guys with the do you remember which faction the gentleman at Anime who was cosplaying from Trench Crusade was?
No.
Okay, he was one of the like paladin-y looking guys. Yeah, no, I fixed it. Don't worry. Okay. Fix that. We got this one shoulder that we need to deal with. And then this arm. Oh my gosh. Goes here. Lovely. And it actually slots into his little cloth too. That's actually very convenient. I hadn't realized. Excellent. All right. I forgot a mold line on the actual pole of the banner. Unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. Oh my God, Blood Bowl, like Skaven and Blood Bowl is fantastic. I love them. I wish they would republish Mordheim. That would be a great callback for them to bring. You've heard some players, 40k players, call Trench Crusade the Unification Wars, but you think that's doing Trench Crusade a big disservice. You've seen the rules, and it's so much more than what I don't doubt that.
It's a very different setting. Too.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I do kind of with my limited knowledge of the setup for Trench Crusade, I do get the idea of why some 40k players might like call it similar to the Unification Wars, but I definitely would not say that that's that specifically. Like, yeah, definitely different, but very like similar-ish, I guess. I mean, really what it is Trench Crusade just has that grimdark aesthetic that GW used to really hardcore embrace and no longer does. Like, that's the real thing. Okay, let me just get this arm in place real quick. I want to make sure it gets aligned properly. Excellent. Make sure it's really on there. And secure. There we go. That's looking better. The 1893 Church Space Program created. Yeah, like I haven't looked into their lore, but I do appreciate some of the like ridiculousness and humor in it. Again, it's one of the things that I miss from GW. Like they just don't embrace some of their own humor anymore. And it's a real shame. I'm just gonna gently place, oh, look how beautiful and stable he is. Dun 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 dun. We're so cool. I think Trench Crusade is definitely worth looking into. If anything, just to give you a different variety of miniature to work on. Like, that's the beautiful thing about all these different war games, is there's always going to be two sides to a war game that you can choose to engage with. There's going to be the game side of it itself, which is always available. Well, actually, it's not always available. Sometimes the games die. But the miniatures often remain available, even if they've gone out of print. Sometimes they just completely disappear, but like, let's be honest, like, especially Games Workshop down the line, not that I think GW is going anywhere anytime soon, but heaven forbid they do end up going somewhere. I feel like we're going to be able to find GW Space Marines forever. I feel like we're going to be able to find them forever. There's just so many of them. Even if the company like went away today, you'd find them in like 100 years. But like, you can always paint them. You can always engage with the hobby side of any of these war games, regardless of whether or not you want to actually get into the rules or committing time to playing the game. You can just focus on the hobby side. Which is kind of what I've been doing recently, I will admit, because I've just been really, really enjoying painting. Okay, he is partially assembled. We need to get his head on. Oh, which has another thin strip with a bunch of mold line on it. Mm-hmm. Mother trucker. Yes, you will be able to. I genuinely think that you will be able to find GW Space Marines down the line on the moon. They'll just end up in the trash in space. There's just that many of them. I'm not sure about 3D printing being the future of tabletop wargaming, like, as a whole. Like, has it made it easier for, like, new companies to pop up and mass produce their, like, their miniatures? Absolutely. But honestly, like, I look through a lot of hobby-related content to see what's, like, trending and everything to try to keep myself relevant, right? And honestly, I don't feel like I see as much about 3D printing as I used to. Maybe it's out there more than I realize, but like, I feel like I see more people focusing less on the 3D resin printing and more on the, oh, what's the one, the like one that isn't as toxic that you can have like, oh, PLA, yeah, like the PLA printing instead. Like, I think that's where, because the fidelity on some of that stuff has gone insane. And also you can like, that's what makers are using to manufacture all their parts for like their builds and that kind of stuff. And I just feel like that's where the trend in 3D modeling is going, less so in the miniature side, because like, I don't know. I just like, I guess if you're 3D printing, I think is great for like the casual who wants to have alternate sculpts and like do other things. But like, I swear, I just still see like a lot of very similar things coming out. Can't tell you how many freaking new but not new looking dragons I've seen as 3D models. And I'm just like, I'm so tired of it. Like I can get a plenty of already sculpted 3D dragons from other places and not have to also like, I mean, I have one, so I could if I wanted to and like possibly get it set back up. But like 3D printers are like, they've gotten cheaper, but they're still not like super cheap. And so I don't know. I feel like the health concerns and space concerns and just the way that it smells is a big turnoff for a lot of people still. Have I seen the stamp plates from Goblin Hobbies? I have not. Oh yeah, no, like, well, and GW is gonna view it as an anathema because like it directly threatens them, whereas smaller companies absolutely can embrace it because they're not as established and they don't have like 30 plus years or 40 plus years or whatever it is of like backlog and like of molds and designs to be using. So I don't know, it's gonna be an interesting thing. I do think 3D printing is definitely gonna play a part in where modeling the hobby side and wargaming definitely goes. I just don't know if it is going to be the immediate like end all be all that I think for the longest time a lot of like really hardcore 3D printer people in the scene were describing themselves as, because I just don't know if it's gonna have maintained that way.
That one's almost dead, so I'm gonna take it and change it.
Understood. Also, because like, and maybe this is just me, but the trial and error of 3D printing is annoying still. See, I think stuff like kit bashing and that kind of thing, that is where I think 3D printing can and will thrive. I just don't know when it will get popular and mainstream enough to really actually threaten somebody like GW. If that makes sense. Like, can it? Will it eventually? Potentially. Absolutely. I just don't know if it's as near as sometimes we've talked about in the past. Maybe I'm just being too pessimistic about it though. You get to sculpt your own miniatures sometimes. You've even done commissions. That's awesome. I agree. That's the thing is like that's kind of how I have also felt, and I'm actually really glad to hear that you, as somebody who has done commission work and sold your models as a 3D sculptor and printer, like as a business, like that's good to hear, because like I have felt the same way. Like I feel like there is such a plethora of like, and I'll admit, I kind of roll my eyes a little bit when I see another content creator going, I'm starting my own like 3D model line that you can buy as STLs and download and print. Because I look at them and like, I just keep seeing generic dragons on stones and like iterations of like wood elves or like vampires, or, which, don't get me wrong, like I like these things and I like seeing different people's takes on these creatures, but I'm not seeing something so innovative and different that I'm like, well, but I could just go get the guaranteed already like on sprue, easy to build model that I don't have to bother waiting to print or having a printer for, or getting the resin or doing like that kind of cleanup on from somebody like Games Workshop or Mantic or Bones, like Reaper Bones or like WizKids or something like that. Like they still do really good sculpts, and they're still very like affordable, all things considered. And it's also a more instant gratification, especially if you can go to a game store and just pick up the model that you're wanting. It's a very like, until this is my personal opinion, I suppose. For me, I'm going to turn this camera off for a second to let it refresh while I talk about this. So for me, until 3D printing becomes the king of convenience for getting what you want when you want it as a hobbyist, I don't think 3D printing is going to overtake the businesses that are producing war games right now or other miniatures, like the big businesses that are producing miniatures, because I think the convenience of being able to go onto Amazon and often next day, if not sooner, get some of those products, especially if you're in the US. I can't speak to this if you're like in the UK or like in Europe or Asia or something like that, but at least in the US, I can order like a miniature off of Amazon, which I don't like necessarily encourage because I don't really like supporting Bezos, but like sometimes you gotta, right? Sometimes you need something really quick and really fast and for a pretty decent price. And Amazon is still a good place for that, unfortunately. So I can go on there and I can buy something from Mantic, or I can buy something from GW, or I can buy something from the Army Painter or Reaper or whoever and get it really fast. And until 3D printing can outdo that convenience, I genuinely am not sure it is going to actually have the pull and draw to change hobbying and like force companies like Games Workshop to change their approach or anything like that until it gets to that point. Like, that is just my personal opinion, but that's what it is. Hello, Shaunata. I hope I pronounced your name correct. Hello from Colombia. Hello, that's very cool. You're new to the hobby in Old World and your Hyles and Wood Elves. Oh, no worries. Don't worry about your English being not the best. English is my first language and I don't speak it well, so I will never judge you for that. That is so cool that you're into the High Elves and Wood Elves. Elves in Old World were so awesome. Like it doesn't matter which iteration of them that you were dealing with. It could be the Dark Elves, it could be the High Elves, and it could be the Wood Elves. They're all super cool. Absolutely love that. See, that's what I mean is like Silver Scratch built productions is like you have a GW that's 12 miles from you, so you can go and get your GW fix within minutes. And that's what I mean is like until 3D printing can be so instantaneous or so convenient that the process of setting it up, getting the print done, cleaning the print, and having the print ready to go on your table and actually start painting, until that process shortens and becomes more convenient, I just don't know if it's actually going to impact GW in the way that like a lot of us want it to, had hoped it would. Dude, I agree, left-handed dragon. English is dumb and it makes no sense. Completely agree. I completely agree, which is why I flounder it all of the time. Yeah, especially some of those Wood Elves. Can I just go back to that for a moment? Some of those old Wood Elf sculpts, I love. They're so cool. I love, it's because of, I'm into plants. So I like how planty they are. You loved your Empire army while you're playing fantasy battles? Dude, Empire also had, and much like Bretonnia, because the Empire got a lot of, not peasants, but like a lot of like, oh, what do they call it? Men in arms and all of that. Like they had also a lot of like scout level, like low level, like infantry dudes. And then you got to your higher level, like knights and stuff. I love that variety. And I love seeing the different stuff that those various groups within the hierarchy of the Empire were given. In the same way that I love it in Bretonnia, because like, so I did that trebuchet, right, with all the peasants. And it was so cool because like they had so many neat little accessories that added genuine real world narrative to their lives as being people working on this trebuchet. I mean, there's even a fucking child in the group, which I think is hilarious. And like they had like, you could put like various like snack foods on their belts and stuff because they like brought food with them because like it's so good. It's just so good. I love it. And like I know that all of the armies in Old World had stuff like that. I actually don't know what accessories like the high elves specifically got, but I bet they got some really cool shit. Like elves in general, I bet got some really fun stuff. And I feel like I have like the daggers and various things for like some of the dark elves because I have painted some Old World dark elves, although those ones were mostly the metal miniatures, not any of the plastic ones that I had to build. But I bet they got some cool things. And the wood elves too. Again, a lot of like floral stuff and very like fun things. Estalia? I don't know, remind me what Estalia is because I feel like the name is familiar, but I'm not placing her specifically. Oh my God. Yes, like I love old world dark elves. Like they're so awesome. I also enjoyed the sort of kinky nature of the dark elves back in the day, including Malekith and his weird relationship with his mother. I just, it was fun and I like that GW was pushing boundaries and being a weirdos. And I'm so sad. Like the fact that Malekith is like no longer Malekith. What is his name now in Age of Sigmar? Like he's still there. Marathi got to keep her name, but like he's now like Malarian or something like that. I don't remember what they called him, but it was so frustrating to me. He had a severe mama's boy complex, okay? And they're kinky dark elves. But we're trying to sell our game to children now, and the mothers might care that there's incest. So let's just do away with that when we reset the world. Also, change his name. We can't copyright that. Because that's why they changed his name if you weren't aware. Because they can't copyright Malekith. So stupid. Oh, is that the Old World Spain analog? Sick. Dude, that would be so cool. See, I hope we get more like that. The fact that they brought Cathay in, I know they want to bring Kislev in. They just won't because of like the Ukraine war right now, which I don't blame them for necessarily. But it is a shame because the Kislevs are awesome. Like they are genuinely just a aesthetically very cool army, and damn it, bears. I want bear cavalry so badly. Not too many. I don't want it to be like insane. I don't need it to be like everybody is riding a bear, but I would love some bear cavalry. Please and thank you. Yeah, Malarian is now Malekith. They because they could not copyright Malekith's name, they changed it. I guess they could or something like that. I don't actually remember what the legitimate reason was, but like they changed it. It was so dumb and I was very upset. It's stupid to be upset about it. But this is a fandom and that's when we get the most upset is about the stupid shit that they changed that is important to us. And I don't know why, but that is very important to me for it to be Malekith and Marathi bonin'. Bear Cav. Oh, yes, Bear Cavalry. Yeah, the Kislev. So if you're not familiar with Kislev in the old world, Kislev is basically your Russia equivalent. Or I guess like Russo, like there it's that region, but it may not be Russia specifically, but it's the pretty Russian. They're pretty Russian. But the cool thing about them is they have great hats and lots of bears. They're up north in the human old world territory, near the chaos like border up north. If you look at a map of old world, at least in regards to when I play Total War Warhammer 3, they're up here a little bit at the top of the human empire area with a couple of other people. But they have a lot of bears, and they ride bears into battle. They have armored bear cavalry, and it's really cool, and they have a lot of guns. Like, Kislev is one of the areas where, like, the gun weaponry in the Empire comes from. I do not believe... Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, because I actually... Yeah, they're kind of Canada. They are a little bit, like, they're a little bit Canada. Well, not really, because the Empire is actually not America. It's Germany. Like, the Empire in Old World is actually extremely German. And so they're actually more Germany. I would say it's more actually like that's why they're the Russia equivalent. Matthew Aper, thank you so much for the $5 donation. You played a Brettonian Knight in Warhammer Fantasy role-playing in 2nd edition for 6 years. You went from Squire and almost got your sip from the Grail? Oh my god, that's so cool! Also, I didn't know there was a Warhammer Fantasy role-playing. Oh, wait, are you talking about the one from Gale Force 9? Is that the one you're talking about? Or is there an older version of Warhammer Fantasy? Because I have, like, the Fantasy Flight games, like Dark Heresy, Rogue Trader, like 40K RPG, but I didn't know there was is there an old fantasy RPG? Or are you talking about the more modern, like, is it Gale Force 9? Cubicle 7. I'm sorry, not Gale Force 9. Cubicle 7, is that who publishes it? Correct me if I'm wrong, because I probably am. Chaos up north is just acting silly. Chaos anywhere is acting silly. That's their jam. They're silly boys and girls. They're very colorful too. And I mean that on a, like, aesthetic level. In my head, all chaos is just, like, they're almost Harlequin-esque in their, like, garishness. North of the Empire on the Chaos border. Exactly. That's what it was! Brother Frost, you're okay, thank you. That's why they changed it. They changed Malekith's name because they were afraid of being sued by Marvel because of Malekith from Marvel. Yes. That was why it was happening. Because they were afraid of being sued by the MCU. So I believe they ended up changing Malekith's name when they did the reset in Age of Sigmar because of that character in Marvel. That's what happened. Oh my god, I had forgotten about that, but that is what it was. Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay had a dwarf on the cover? Cubicle 7 does the 4th edition. Oh! Okay, wait. So you're telling me that before... Hold on. You're telling me that before GW sold it to other people... Hold on. That Black Industries was publishing a Warhammer Fantasy role-playing game? What? I have not heard of this. Also, this is like my pride and joy. It's the OG Black Industries Dark Heresy book. Did you know that Black Industries had published a Warhammer Fantasy Battles RPG? Chaos Cultist. Real quick, did you know that Black Industries had also published a Warhammer Fantasy Battles RPG? Oh, wait, you have it?
There you go.
Wait, you have it?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know we owned this. Wait. This is from Black Industries? Like...
It's the republished by Fantasy Flight.
Oh, it's the republished by Fantasy Flight. Okay, hold on.
So it might be the Black Industries. I'd have to check the year of it.
Okay, hold on. Let me just... I don't want to smush anybody accidentally. This is... I didn't know this... That's what this was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, this is Fantasy Flight's publication of it, but...
Oh my god. Hold on. I'm completely out of focus. Holy shit! So this is 3rd edition, okay. Dude, I didn't know this.
Yeah, I tried to get you interested in it a few times over the years, and you never showed any interest.
That's because I didn't realize... I don't think I understood what it was.
I told you it was the Warhammer Fantasy Tabletop RPG.
I don't think I understood what it was. I don't know why. What? Oh my god, there's like tokens and stuff?
Yep.
Wait, why are there cards?
Fantasy Flight.
Oh, of course. Never mind, you're right. So, wow, that's wild.
Sorry, when you said that, I was like, what are you on about? We've owned it for years.
I forgot it.
Hell, I think I may have bought that at Games of Berkeley's original location.
Really? I had Dude, these are so cool.
You're so cool.
No, you're so cool. You're the one who owns this.
Guys, there's an ongoing thing in this relationship where, under normal circumstances, Angela will always claim that she owns, like, everything in this house with me. Mostly meaning that it's hers, which means that everything that I owned, because a lot of this collection was originally mine, like, became hers when we got married. I understand that's how marriage works, yada, yada, yada. However, like, recently there has been one set of DVDs and one other item that I at least claim ownership of. And for some reason, she's trying to claim that she owns those now.
No?
And she's trying to give me, like, new things randomly in the house. So that she can claim them instead.
I am not giving you new things.
Good luck reboxing that. I'm getting out of here.
I am going to succeed at reboxing this. Just watch me. Just watch. I will do this, chat. Even if it takes me the rest of stream, we're going to get this thing put back together. All right. Oh, get in there. Okay, that side's in. Now, you lift up, and you go in there, and be a good boy. Slide in there. All right, there we go. All right, fixed it. I think, hold on. Something's still a little funky. There we go. There we go. All right. Beautiful. Well, this was a nice. So 1st edition is from 1986. Holy shit. That's so cool. I didn't know we owned this. The Tomb of Blessings, the Tomb of Mysteries, the Tomb of Adventure, and the Warhammer Fantasy Role Playbook. And then a lovely look. Let's look at the little ad. Middle Earth Quest. Warhammer Invasion, the card game. Rogue Trader. Battlestar Galactica, the board game. God Classic. Letters of Marquis, a Bruno Fadati game. Chaos in the Worlds, another Warhammer card game. Talisman. The Penny Arcade game. Card game. Chaos Marauders, another Warhammer game, which appears to be focused a lot on orcs. Ad Astara. I don't recognize that one at all, actually. Dark Heresy. Battle Lore, an epic fantasy adventure. Game of Thrones. Call of Cthulhu. Kingsburg. Descent. OG Descent. Wings of War. Ooh, that actually looks pretty cool. What is that? Historic Combat Aviation comes from their tabletop with Wings of War series. It's a card game. Are there little miniatures? That's cute. Anima. And then a bunch of a shit ton of sleeves back in the old sleeve packaging. The old sleeve packaging. Ah, what a nostalgia trip. All right. Let's put this box away. Oh, is it time for a break? Nope. Get in there, book. Get in there. They made a Disc Wars for Warhammer Fantasy? I do not remember that, but that is awesome. All right, where should I put this? I'll probably just put it here and I'll move it in a moment when I go take my break. All right, guys. I know, wouldn't this be so fun to play? Well, I'm currently playing a D&D game, but there's a chance that in the future, maybe I'll see if we can run one of these. That would be fun. Okay. You had to go say hi to Shay. I completely understand needing to jump in and say hi to Shay. The Brit is coming together. Actually, technically, he's a Frenchman. He's coming together quite well. So we have his horse fully built. He's not attached to the space yet, but he's stable in there, which is great. So the horse is built, and I think I do need to do a little bit more cleanup. But most of my gap filling appears to have done its thing. There's a little bit of cleanup, maybe a little bit more gap filling that'll need to happen there because it sunk in a bit. And then our knight himself is actually doing quite well too. Let me bring this up and we'll focus a bit better on him. So his banner's on there. It's going to be cool to paint. And he's pretty clean. We have a few accessories to put on him, like he needs his shield still, which I believe goes, I think it's here. I need to place him on the dude though, or on I need to place the dude on the horse and see where this goes. Yeah, so it'll go there. And then we may put a few more accessories on him, but we'll figure that out when we come back. But I am going to go ahead and take a break real quick, also so I can put this box away. Because I just didn't realize that we had this. He is a Frenchman. He's Brettonian. Actually, I think they're Brettonian. Or, sorry, I think they're more French, I guess, than English. Or are they English because they're the Arthurian legend? Because that's a very UK thing, right? So maybe they're more English, I guess. I guess you were right. You know, I never thought of that. I always kind of associate them with France because I weirdly associate the Empire with England, but really the Empire is Germany. So I think Bretonnia might technically be... Do I own any of the Realms of Chaos books? Yes, I do. I don't have all of them, but I do have... Here, I'll bring it after my break, and we can take a look through that because it is a lovely book, and I kind of want him to set a bit more, and we have a little bit of cleanup to do on the horse, so that'll kill some extra time for us. But yeah, I'm going to go take my break. I'm going to put this away. I'll bring the Realms of Chaos book that I have, and we can at least like show that off a little bit. And then, yeah, I guess... No, you're totally correct. Absolutely, Zakari. I also find it hilarious that the Brettonian religion is just created by the Wood Elves. Because all the Lady in the Lake is like Illyria or whatever her name is. I can't remember what... It's like the Everqueen, isn't it? Or something like that. It's one of the women. It's one of the lady leaders of the Wood Elves. And she's the woman in the lake. Or the lady in the lake. Oh, is that what it is, Brett? It's Bretonnia is referencing the Brittany, which was English-ruled area of France. I think you're right. So maybe that's why I kind of associate them with the French, but they are actually like more English because like they are Arthurian. Like literally Bretonnia is meant to be Arthurian legend in Warhammer. That's why they have the Lady in the Lake. It just happens to be, instead of it being like an actual goddess like an Arthurian legend, it's an elven queen. Who's just tricking the Brettonians. And I think technically, like, I've always heard, like, that the Brettonian, like, nobility does know, but they're like, well, it keeps us all, like, cool and we have peaceful relationships with them because of it. So, like, fuck it, I guess. We'll just go with it. But yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, they are French. Okay, well, we can discuss this more when I get back. Anyways, I will be back in about 5 minutes or so. I'm gonna grab myself some fruit for a snack because we're trying to be healthy. And I'm gonna put this away and then we'll continue working on my knight. See you guys in just a moment. Hello. I am back. So we were asking about the Realms of Chaos. Indeed, I have the Slaves of Darkness book. And I love this thing. I love this thing to death. I love the art in this. I miss this art so desperately. Holy shit, do I miss this art. Like, I miss the jank of it. I miss the chiaroscuro of it. I miss the fact that they actually used to work in pencil and charcoal and, like, non-digitally. Oh, and I love these miniatures. They're so derp. Look at him. He's so good. You can't see him because he's underneath your text. Hold on. Look at him. Let me focus it. Is it pretty focused? It looks focused. There you go. Look at him. Look at his little face. It's so good. Oh, they're so... Look how good. Look how good and giant that head is on that demon. Bloodthirster. Beautiful. Beautiful classic Bloodthirster. Ah. This is such a good book. And there's like, I think at least... Are there 2 or 3 volumes of Realms of Chaos? I have the Slaves to Darkness. I know that there is like at least one other one, but I thought there were like 2. There could be 4. I don't remember the total number of volumes of it. But it's a number of them. But genuinely, a fantastic. There's 2? Oh, there's only 2 of them. I thought there were 4 for some reason. What's the other one called? I can't remember. Is it Realm of Darkness? Or no, it wouldn't be Realm because it's Slaves to Darkness. So what would it have been? I know corn boys are so good. Hell yeah, strawberries. My favorite berry. I want to grow some of for myself, but like, I don't know how. The seeds I got I didn't freeze them like recommended, so I'm assuming that's the problem, but I don't know. I need to figure it out. For now, I'll just continue to buy them from my farmer's market. They had planned a 3rd? Okay, maybe that's what I had remembered then. Oh my god, get on my brush. There we go. There we go. We'll clean that up afterwards, but I think we're looking good. Don't stick that on your strawberries, Angela. Ooh, a fig bush? Nice. I want to get, so there's 2 berry bushes that I want to get. I want to get some strawberries, but I'll probably do that next year. What I actually really want to get is I want to get a little blueberry bush because Chaos Cultist really likes blueberries. And I think it'd be cool if we could like grow our own. Does it? Do wasps not like fig? Like, is there something about the plant that keeps them away? You've been planting some Soulblight Gravelords lately? Dude, Soulblight Gravelords are great. I love both the Soulblights because of the heavy armor aesthetic for their vampire vibe, because like they kind of have old school vampires of an aesthetic to them. But I actually originally I did not like this, but they've really grown on me because I learned a little bit more about them. But the Flesh Eater Courts I actually really enjoy because they're fallen Brettonians, which I love. I love that they took the Brettonians and went, what if they got turned into vampires, but they were all ghoulish because they're all basically Nosferatu vampires. And I'm like, I'm in. I'm in immediately. They eat wasps? Is the fig plant carnivorous? What? I have to look this up. What? Fig plants and wasps. Nope, I meant to say fig plants, not a space TS. Plants and wasps. Fig trees and fig wasps have a fascinating mutual beneficial relationship. Okay, well, this is saying that the fig wasps like the fig plants. That is a horrifying looking wasp. Holy shit. All right, I'm done looking that up. I like bugs. That was a weird looking bug. The Brettonians are French because of how Felix gets his sword and the knights die fighting the Chaos Trolls. It also makes sense because they are decked out in fleur-de-lis, right? Google says that strawberries require bees for pollination and a buttload of direct sunlight. Maybe that's the problem. I started them indoors. Maybe they weren't getting enough sun. No, that's fine, Nighthawk. I was like, what? That's wild. I've never heard that. So I had to look it up. I'm very gullible. I'll believe a lot of things. No. I like figs are delicious. I love okay. I've not actually had a like fig by itself, like as just the pure fruit. But like the like fig treats, like those like baked treats that have the fig filling in them, like Fig Newtons or whatever. That doesn't have to be that brand specifically. Like I've had other brand versions and they're all very, very tasty. I like Fig Newtons. Like they're a very tasty and healthy snack, honestly. Oh my God. See, like harvesting, like so ideally I'd want strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries. Those are the 3 berries that I like the most, and I would just love to gobble them all up. I also think it would be really cool to have a peach tree because I love peaches. Oh my God. But there's plenty of like areas around here, like nearby that sell farmers markets that have like peaches and everything. So there's gotta be farms nearby or something. And I don't have to worry about it, I guess. Well, I have an outdoor area that I can put the garden. So like I do have, there is, my backyard gets pretty direct sunlight almost all day. And I do want to build some more planters and put them on the patio space as well as more into the dirt area where I built the first one, if you watched that stream. And so that will happen down the line. Like I'm hoping, provided like things go well and like after this first season of doing some gardening, next year I'll have a much better idea of what I'm getting into. Oh my gosh! Speaking of fruits and vegetables that I've been growing, because I have flowers, but I've also been really focusing on like edibles. So my cucumbers I keep having cucumber sprout, like with the actual cucumber, but like the first one, the one that I got really excited about, the very first one I saw, got real small and shriveled, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if they're not getting enough water, if it's not getting like fertilized or something. Like I thought by it appearing they had already been fertilized, but maybe, I don't know. But I haven't had a successful full cucumber grow yet, but I keep having like little ones go and then seemingly go nowhere. I'm hoping that'll change. I've had a couple of recent ones with like way bigger flowers on them. So I'm like, fingers crossed that they're gonna do fine. But like my peppers, guys, I got rid of all of the aphids. I bought some ladybugs. And if you watched my reel on Instagram, I unleashed them onto my pepper plants. And they swarmed the damn thing and they ate all these. They destroyed them, crushed them in their little mandibles, and consumed their juices. And my peppers have been saved. And now both my big Thai peppers and my panada peppers have fucking peppers on them. And I'm so excited. They are not ripe yet, but they're actually developing. And it's great. That's just the female cucumber flower. It shriveled because it didn't get fertilized. You can tell the male and... No, okay, so that is the problem. So even if the flower's there, they still need to get fertilized. Damn it. I was really hoping by it showing up that it had been fertilized. Damn it. I've seen some, like, I saw a bee over by those plants the other day, but I have not seen a lot of bees or like butterflies over there. And I don't know, you need to get a Q-tip or electric toothbrush to manually collect the pollen from the male flowers and put it into the female ones. How though? Like, do I just like stick the Q-tip into the male flower and then like, and then once it's got pollen on it, stick it into the female flower and just wiggle it around? Will that be enough? Okay, I'm gonna... Fuck, I think the other one's flower is starting to wilt. Is that gonna be too late then? I'm so worried now. My poor cucumbers. I just want a cucumber. I just want a cucumber for reasons. For very specific reasons, okay? Is it pretty successful? Like, if I do that, will it... Like, should I pollinate the same female flower with multiple different male flowers? Collect from a few males first and then do the females? Okay. I was wondering, like, should I do like a male and then a female and then go find a different male and put it in the same female? Or should I just do like male, male, male and then put it into put it on the female plant? We're talking about plants, QAnon. Calm down. That's the recommended method. Okay, so male, 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 and then put it into a female. Okay. I know, I want to make pickles, damn it. I just want to make pickles. I just want to pickle a cucumber and make my own fresh pickles. Ah! I think it'd be really cool. Okay. All right, I'm literally going to do that tonight. And it doesn't need to be different plants. The same plant will be fine. Okay, that's fine. There's multiple plants all next to each other, so it's fine. But, okay, good to know. Good to know. Maybe I'll finally get an actual cucumber out of my cucumber plants by doing this. I had been worried. So I had read online like a month ago, and I think that's what it had said, and I couldn't remember. So... But yeah, like, no, it's fine, QAnon. It's fine. But yeah, no, it's, we're just talking about plants. Don't worry. Don't worry. Especially YouTube, you don't need to worry. We're just talking about cucumber plants. Now I need them to be fertilized so they actually give me cucumbers so I can turn them into pickles. I just want to make a pickle, damn it. So that I can go, look, I made this. Can we also talk about how insane it is? How much plant material comes out of a fucking seed? My cucumber plants have gone insane. I did not buy proper trellises. I almost forgot the word trellis, but I then remembered it. I didn't buy proper trellises for the cucumbers. I just used the trellises that I had bought for my like tomatoes and pepper plants because I was like, this should work fine, right? It should be fine. It should be totally fine. And so like, it wasn't. I mean, it's been okay, but not like the best. And now I feel like my cucumber plants look really ugly because they're just going all over the place. But it's okay. No one has to see them other than me. I think I need to refocus, stop talking about my plants, and actually glue this shield on. That's what needs to happen. So it's gonna go... there, I guess. Okay, let's sit him back on the horse and see where we need this. I've never heard that. A wink is as good as oh my god. I can read, I swear. A wink is as good as a nod to a blind bat. I mean, you know what? Valid. Valid. All right, our boy, he's got his rump in this seat. Should I just glue him down? Nah. Let's go ahead and get some glue on his shield. Bam. And then while we have him pressed in place, because I don't want him to shift, we're gonna put the shield on. Bam. And I'm just gonna hold him here for a little bit. Yeah, no, I'm really glad the garden's been doing really well too. Honestly, like the greenhouse has turned out crazy because, so I didn't realize that this plant, and I actually still need to look it up because I'm not convinced. I'm not sure what I planted that vined like crazy, but I think it's columbine, like the flower. It's definitely not columbine. What is a vining? There's been no flowers on it. It's just vined. And I don't know vine plants. And I don't know what kind of plant it is. I don't think it's jasmine. It's definitely not honeysuckle. Maybe, is it jasmine? No, it's definitely not jasmine because the leaves don't look like that. I don't know what this fucking plant is. I have some plant in my greenhouse that is vined like crazy. Like it is aggressive and it is all over the place. And it's really cool because what I did is my greenhouse is it's a little tent. Okay. So it's got like a little plastic covering on it. And it has on either side. So it's narrower than it is long. So it doesn't have a lot of depth. It's like, I don't know. I think it's about the depth of this table, actually. If you watched my tour video, it's about the depth of the table. And on either side, it's got, I would say, 4.5-inch to 4-inch like shelves, like wire mesh shelves that you can put down. And I had, because they had my landlords had left a bunch in our garage. We have a bunch of tiles from I think our kitchen or something like that, or some space when they were doing some renovating in the place before we moved in. They had a bunch of tiles left over. And so I took them because they were square and they actually fit onto these shelves really, really well. I could put 2 of them on there and basically have a really nice flat surface. So I put 2 tiles on each of the shelves to one, weigh them down so the wind wouldn't take the thing up because I was worried about the plants getting like blown out or something like that. And you think it's just ivy? I don't, but that's the thing is like, I think it's some sort of flowering plant because I only planted flowering plants. I just have no idea what it is because I had everything labeled and I thought I kept it pretty organized. But at one point I was transferring things and I realized that my labels had all fallen and now I don't know which one it was. So I completely lost track of some of these plants. The only one that I know for certain that has grown and flowered is specifically the zinnia. I know I've had zinnias pop because I recognize those flowers. But like this vine has not flowered yet. It has been the most successful plant that I've had because all of them have succeeded and they're insane. But it's really cool. So on all these shelves, because they're mesh, I can weave the vines in between. So I've created this like intricate like vine segments on each of the levels on both sides. And on the middle shelf, like not the lowest shelf because that's on the ground level, there's like a middle shelf and then there's a top shelf. On that middle shelf, I have all of my succulents because they can't deal with a lot of like really direct long-term light. Otherwise, they get really mushy and soggy and sad, and it makes me cry. I lost one of my succulents that way, and I was so bummed by it. Havin, you remember the little cute one that you sent to me in the white ghost, like it's got two little eyeballs on it, and it's like got a little rope, like white rope wrapped around it to make him kind of look like a ghost. So one of the little succulents in that unfortunately perished because I think it got too much sun. Unfortunately, I have put something else in that pot since. I've actually transferred some other succulents into that, so it's being used still. Don't worry. But it doesn't have the original plant in it, and that made me really sad. But so I shaded them so that they would get less direct light, and they're thriving now. It's really cool. So I have a bunch of succulents on both sides on the second level. And then the lower level is where some of my like in progress like vegetation is, and also where the vines roots are starting. So they're all going up. It's crazy. I absolutely love it. There's a bunch of ladybugs in there right now too, which is really cool. All right, this looks like it's attached, which is great. Okay, let me look at my other friend and see other things that we might attach to our boy. Because we have... Okay, the thing that I'm kind of confused by is we have, like, where would this little shield go? Where's the box? Where does it tell me that I can put that little shield? Ah, on the lance arm. Okay. I don't know if that would work on this guy. I don't think it does. I don't think this... Let me look at one of the other arms, and I just want to confirm. Yes. So these arms all have a flat armor panel, which I assume that sits onto, and my guy does not. So he's not going to get that little piece. Is there anything else we can add to our boy then? Because that's just the one little shoulder piece, which I don't think really fits. Oh no, I don't. It's not even a, sorry, I'm acting like it's a big problem, this vine plant. It's not a problem. I actually love the vine plant. I just don't know what it is, and that bothers me. Like, it's not that I'm actually mad at the plant. I love that the plant has gone crazy and vined. It's contained, so it is not in the ground. It is in a large potted, like, it's in a large planter pot. So it is like, it's contained, because I also planted, and I didn't realize this until after I planted it, but I was like, whoopsie daisy, I just won't plant that into the earth. I have, and this is something I bought myself. I bought a packet of seeds that included what's called butterfly weed. Well, if you're not familiar with butterfly weed, it's a very lovely flower that I believe is orange normally, and it's small. It's like a small orange flower and attracts butterflies. The whole reason I got it was because I wanted to draw butterflies to my garden so that they could pollinate all of my vegetables and everything, right? It's definitely not cannabis. It would require way too much heat for that, and I honestly would not want to attempt to grow cannabis on my own. I don't smoke flower. So actually, speaking of, I don't even have mine up here right now. Do I? Hey, Chaos Cultist, do you mind bringing me the pen? Yeah, no problem. Thank you. But like, so again, not upset at the plant. It's more just that I don't know what it is, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. Oh, but going back to butterfly weed. So really cool plant, draws butterflies to your garden. That's the whole reason I planted it. Didn't realize that it was milkweed. Milkweed is kind of invasive and dangerous, so I'm not planting that into the ground either. Thank you! Yeah, the little mummy pot that you gave me. Yes, that one, the little mummy. That's what he was. I don't know why I was thinking ghost. It's literally wrapped. I should have thought mummy. But yes, the little mummy. So it doesn't have the original succulent or cacti or whatever it was that was in there. I don't even remember. I unfortunately baked that thing way too fast. I did not realize what I was doing. I didn't realize they couldn't take direct sunlight. But it has a fresh little thing in it, so it's very cute and it's doing fine. But yeah, that is the plan. So we're done, I think, technically, chat. I need to do, I guess, maybe like one final thorough inspection of mold lines, but I think we're literally at the point where this boy needs to be primed because he is good to go, which is kind of why I rambled about plants. I could use Google Glass to try that. Unfortunately, a lot of those things like really want me to sign up for like a program and then like charge me later. So I'm like, or not, or I'll just wait till it fucking flowers and I'll figure it out. No, I should really look into what it actually is. Because I think it would be cool to find out, because it is driving me a little bit bonkers because like it hasn't flowered yet. I'm like, bro, you have been growing like crazy. You are literally taking over my entire greenhouse, which is kind of rad, frankly. But like, what are you? What are you? If only Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Oh my gosh. I wish my tomatoes would also harvest. Do I the peppers appear to be self-pollinating. Are tomatoes self-pollinating, or do I need to manually pollinate them like we're talking about my cucumbers? Do you guys know? His shield is not wanting to stick, which is why I'm staring at it. You don't know much about cucumbers? That's fair. I'm also waiting for my my darling little what are they called? Praying mantises. I bought a praying mantis cocoon from my local Ace Hardware, I think it was. Cuz I did try to go to the Tractor Supply Company to see if I could find ladybugs and mantises. Sadly, they did not sell them. But the kind lady that worked there was like, oh, you can get those at Ace. And I was like, sweet, I will head to my local Ace. So I did. And in the Ace Hardware, I had a lovely conversation with this older lady about aphids and how they needed to die. Which is why I bought the ladybugs. But then I also was like, I love praying mantises. These also eat aphids, right? She's like, yes, along with other pests. And I was like, perfect, I will take one. And they have not hatched yet, and I'm very sad. Tomatoes should be self-pollinating. You don't ever remember having to do anything super special to get them to grow. Okay, because I've had a lot of like the little yellow flowers on some of my big boy tomatoes, I think is the plant that has popped the most, but none of them have started like producing a tomato. And I don't know, like, I need to look up, and I'll just look this up later myself. But if anybody knows, when a tomato like starts to, like the fruit starts to form, is it in the same way that the pepper flowers are at the tips, and honestly, frankly, the cucumber flowers are at the tips of the plant, or the fruit, sorry, and then it shows up? Or is it like the flower starts and then the fruit shows up elsewhere on the plant? Like, are they connected in any way? Mantises will eat anything. That's what I thought. I have one that I did. It's not from my thing that I bought. It's just a random mantis that I found in the greenhouse one day, and he is stuck around, and I'm so pleased by it. But he's moved over, he's migrated over to my cucumbers, and he's just hanging out. And I've seen him, and he's gotten a little bit bigger. He keeps getting a little bit bigger, so he's eating. And I'm very happy for him and her. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but I'm very happy for this little mantis. I fucking love praying mantises. They're like one of my favorite bugs of all time. I used to, like, anytime when I was a kid and I would find them, I would try to bring them home with me. My parents discouraged this. I was like, I want to keep them. I just thought they were so cool. They're so cool. I also really like that one episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I know it's a really stupid episode, but do you guys remember the episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer where that one substitute teacher is a praying mantis like lady, and she is seducing the male students so that she can and basically lay her eggs in them and cut off their heads. I love that episode. That is totally a false thing, by the way. I think within like the last, I don't know, 5-10 years or something, I remember reading a paper about how it has been found that the only reason that female praying mantises were doing that to their male counterparts when they were under observation by scientists was because they were stressed and under observation by scientists during their mating process, and therefore killed their like the mate that because of that, is what I understand. Flowers transform into the tomatoes. Okay. I should name the mantis something 40K. What's a good Tyrannid name? Because I feel like, I could call him like Little Lictor. Because he kind of has the Lictor like claws. I also, okay, if the babies, if my little hive, if my little egg sac, my tiny little egg sac of potentially hundreds or 200s worth of baby praying mantises ever larvates and then turns into baby mantises. God, I hope it happens. I really want to see it occur. I think it'd be so cool. I really want to see it happen. I'm going to name one Scyther. One has to be named Scyther. Little Lictor. Yeah, I love it. Okay, perfect. That's what his name is going to be. The current one that is in the cucumbers, his name is Little Lictor. I'll see if I can get a picture of him and share it on my socials. Because I do see him, like, occasionally he'll be, like, hanging out and, like, bobbing on my window right next to where the plants are, and he'll just be, like, sitting there, and he'll be, like, doing this little, you know, the little jam that they do. I love it. I love praying mantises. They're so cool. They're such a cool bug. Okay, I think my night is done. It is 3:48. I don't have a huge amount more to do. I guess I should do the final inspection of the horse. Make sure we have all of his mold lines cleaned up so that he's good to go. Because really, the next step is getting this guy primed. Okay, so I have planted, and I don't know if this is actual garlic or not, okay? I don't think it is because it didn't come from a bulb, but I've also been told that you can grow garlic from a seed, so I don't know what I'm doing. But I had a packet of seeds that was labeled as scientific name here, chives, and then in parentheses, it says garlic. I don't know if that means that I will be getting a bulb of garlic beneath those chives when they mature, or if it's something else, but I have planted them specifically because I love garlic, and also because I have been told by multiple people now, and Craig, you're like the third or fourth person at this point, but I was told very early on when I got into gardening that garlic deters certain pests. And I have No idea if the chives, in parentheses, garlic, are actual garlic and therefore will do it. Or if it's just like, or if I need like it to come from a bulb. Or what. But like, I want to, because I've heard garlic is a natural pescatern. Like, thankfully, like my tomatoes have done the best because they have had 0 pests on them as far as I can tell. I don't know if they are just naturally like pests stay away from them. I've found like a couple like flies occasionally, but like that's about it. And they don't even seem to be like detrimental flies. They just seem to be like literal like buzzing around because I think there's spiders in there flies. You don't want to cheat on your Thousand Suns, but the Tyranid models are too cool. Dude, I understand. Primarch loan. The Tyranid models are really cool. Like, they're super, super cool. So vamps are pests? How dare you, Nighthawk? Who said a vampire is a pest? Oh, because they're anti-garlic. No! Oh my god, I said that. How shameful of me. No, but no, vampires are not pests. I'm talking about bug pests, not wonderful, sexy, fanged vampires. And I stand by that for even the Nosferatu vampires, because they're still pretty fucking cool. Maybe they're not sexy specifically, but they're damn cool. Oh my goodness. What are tomato hornworms? These worms literally ate 90% of the leaves? Oh no. Holy shit, what is a hornworm? Hornworm. Oh, it's a type of caterpillar. Like a type of moth? Whoa, okay. Yeah, I have not encountered these. Oh my gosh, it's 1 o'clock in the morning for you, Alex. Good night. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and being active in chat. It was lovely to have you be here. So thank you as always. And yes, please go get some rest. They look like, oh, they're you know, they do look like caterpie. Here, I'll show you guys a picture. Look at the hornworms. Yeah, I have not seen these. I found a single caterpillar, and I think it was an inchworm because it was like, it was doing the little like, I can't end it. It was doing the little thing. I mean, I guess like technically all caterpillars walk like that, but it looked like an inchworm. So I think it was an inchworm, and I removed it from my plants and put it in other plants that I didn't care about. But I was like, get the fuck off my garden, because I found that around the tomatoes. I don't remember if it was on the tomatoes, but it was around them. You get slugs, big ones. So I have found slugs in one thing. And ironically, it was the like pre-made bouquet, I guess was the word that I can use to describe this, that I got from Trader Joe's of succulents. You know how like if you're familiar with Trader Joe's, which is a organic grocery store, I guess, kind of. It's a specific grocery store in the States. I don't know if Trader Joe's or something equivalent exists outside the States, but it's very popular here in California at least. But I know that they have it on like the East Coast as well. So it's a nationwide franchise in the US. And they like the groceries are pretty reasonably priced, and they have a lot of like organic stuff and like more just like natural made stuff than say, like they don't have a lot of the, like they do not sell like Lay's products, for example. And that kind of stuff. So it's that type of grocery store, but it's not as like hoity-toity and high-end as like Whole Foods, for example. And so like so Trader Joe's sells a lot of like plants, okay? They tend to have like a little thing outside normally, and that's where they have like often succulents, cacti, and then a lot of like house plants. And so I have bought a couple of succulent things from them before I found a way cooler, way more reliable succulent like dealer. Basically, I've got a guy. I got a succulent guy. All right, that's how deep into the gardening I am. So I have a dude that I've been getting my succulents from, but I bought some from Trader Joe's occasionally because I just really like the boxes they were in, frankly. It was in this like square wooden box, but I have found so many slugs in that specific soil, and they killed some of my succulents. It also had earthworms in it, which I was like, why does this have earthworms in it? You have never been in the earth. Where did these come from? Yes, whole paycheck, exactly, yes. Yeah, they're on all natural and like organic based like products. Exactly. Wait, is it owned by two German brothers? Really? That's cool. Trader Joe's and Aldi. I've never heard of Aldi. Oh, your Saturnine box arrived? That's awesome. Unfortunately, like price drops. You must have bought it secondhand, didn't you? Because there shouldn't be price drops from GW. They don't really change their prices that much. Like they're not a company that does sales very often. But if you, oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm so sorry. It's the American version of Ali Nord. I see. I did not know that. I had no idea. Yeah, because so one of the reasons that like a lot of people here in the States like Trader Joe's is because they're very personalized to the town that you find them in. So like the one where I live is very personalized to the town I live in. And I can say the same thing for the one that I used to shop at back when I used to live in a different location in California. And so they're all very personalized. And they also tend to be like, they're very vibrant. They have a very like art vibe to them because they have like their windows are often have full art displays and ads in them, etc. They're really, really cool. Aldi is a supermarket in the UK. I see. Okay. Oh, our LGS is cutting the prices. Ah. Shh, they're not supposed to do that. Unless GW has changed their policy, but like GW actually has a very strict rule about well, okay, they're allowed to discount the prices on the stuff that's not selling. They're not allowed to advertise it. At least that used to be the old rule. That you used to be able to, like, if you were somebody who sold Games Workshop products, then you could discount those products if you were trying to, like, move old stuff or whatever, but you weren't allowed to publicly advertise that you were doing so because I guess they didn't want people to think that, like, but basically they didn't want, I guess they just didn't want people messing with their MSRP is really what it comes down to, I suppose. But yeah, that's like, they weren't, that's sneaky. That's sneaky. You live in the Midwest and there are Aldi stores all over here? Interesting. I've never heard of Aldi. I'll have to look that up. Would you compare it to a Trader Joe's? Have you been to a Trader Joe's, Matthew? Like, I believe everybody that they are likely the same. I just have genuinely, I did not know this. This is like brand new news to me. I'm gonna try to shape the underside here a little bit better. We're not really gonna see it too much, but it'll still bug me. I'll know it's there. They are similar? Okay, cool. Wow, by up to 30%. That's crazy. Yeah, they're like, that's a bigger discount than I feel like they're even allowed. Like, they were like, you can do like 10% discounts. But I do think they dictated a value. I could be wrong about that. It's been so long since I've worked in a game store. And again, I don't know if GW's policies have changed, etc. But that's a big gap in your butt. That's not supposed to be there. Let's see if we can fix that. I'm just going to hold this for a moment. I don't get meat from Trader Joe's for that reason, because I feel like their meat only lasts, like, unless I know I'm using it that same day, I don't go there. But there's a couple things that I regularly get from Trader Joe's. I like their frozen food aisle. If you like Indian meals, their butter chicken and like tikka masala and those are pretty good. I also like their turkey burgers, because they have like frozen like turkey burgers that I just cook on my like George Foreman grill in about 7 or so minutes, and they're quick and easy and really good, tasty. They have a pretty good like ganache that I like to make every now and then. So basically, like their frozen stuff I like their blood orange soda. And I get like garlic bread from them pretty regularly, because they have like a vacuum sealed garlic bread that I'll like pop open, and when I do like pastas, that's really good. But I will admit that I have bought beef from Trader Joe's that goes like that I have brought home and I swear was already rancid. So yes, I completely hear you when it comes to that. But that's why I get very specific things from Trader Joe's, as well as plants. Yeah, that makes sense. I love. I mean, garlic bread is so good, right? I have never met anybody who doesn't like garlic bread. But I also don't think I've ever met anybody who doesn't like garlic, so. Or bread. And when you combine the two, I mean, it's just inevitably perfect. It is the craftsman curse. Nobody will see it, but yeah, I will know it's there. Exactly. All right, I think we need a little bit of sprue glue. Hello, Hari. It's lovely to see you in chat. How you doing? All right, that gap is now filled. Come on, sprue glue. Function. There we go. And that is looking better. I think I'll need one more little droplet. I'm doing all right, Hari. You've graduated on your master's degree. Sweet, congratulations on your graduation. That is very exciting. I know you've been working on that for a while. So I am actually going to be specifically painting the heraldry of the Slain Theocracy, which is a kingdom within the world of Overlord, which is an anime, if you're not familiar with it. I have been obsessed with, that is a caterpillar. Hold on, let me bring up the Slain Theocracy in Overlord. Boop, images. sigil. Nope, that's digital. I meant sigil. Oh my God. Oh, sorry, they're not actually the Slain Theocracy. They are... I kept thinking they were, but they're actually... I don't think they are. Overlord... What was the kingdom called? That's literally the name of the movie. Sacred. Sacred Kingdom. There we go. Sigil. So I'm going to be using this sigil. So that's the sigil I'll be using. Because I am basing it off of the paladins from this particular movie / 2 books within the Overlord light novel series. That's what I'm basing them off of. Let me show you. Oh my God, can we just appreciate how fucking majestic Ainz Ul Gon looks in this particular image? Like, the motherfucking lich is in white and gold and sitting on a gorgeous throne. Okay, anyways, I love this series. Let me show you the paladins. Paladins. Boop. So I am basing them, here, let me bring her up, on essentially these paladins. Let me focus. There we go. Whoop, going the wrong way. There we go. So we're going to do a mithril, like a platinum mithril color scheme on most of the armor. And then we're going with white and a sky blue with a lot of brown leathers. Although the sword will have a little bit of gold, and then, well, he doesn't have a sword, but well, he does have a sword, but it'll be this one. So there'll be a little bit like gold and such on the sword, but that's the idea. And so on the heraldry, I am going to be painting painstakingly that complicated blue symbol. It's going to be very cool. It's going to be challenging. I'm going to have to practice a little bit probably, but I'm very excited. And mostly I can end up doing a lot of like white and blue color schemes. And also you'll notice on her armor, here, nope, zoom. She has this like, whoa, what? Okay, there we go. I zoomed two in. So it's got this like, I don't know what kind of pattern that's called. A triangle pattern? A pyramid pattern? I don't know. But she has that pattern, and what I'm thinking about doing is trying to produce that on the edge of the horse's like skirt. I think that'd be kind of cool. I don't know what, I think I'm just gonna have to like, I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm doing with the shields. I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm doing with the shields. That is gonna be a challenge. Because like that sigil, I don't know if I want to draw 4. Okay, if I did the sigil on every shield that I did, which I feel like would almost be appropriate, that would be 7 sigils. It's a tooth pattern. Thank you, left-handed dragon. Thank you. Can I show you the final slam terrain piece? Yeah, let me go grab it. It's in the other room real fast, but I can grab that and show it to you. It's not technically done yet, if I'm honest. There is more work that I want to do on it, but I need to finish the figures and mount it to probably Masonite before I do any further work on it. So it's at a pause step, which is hence why I'm working on the Brettonian right now. Yeah, it's in my hand. I'm bringing it back. So yeah, this is what I was working on before. And there's still some stuff that I want to do on this particular... Oh, I think I forgot. Oh, I didn't do any of the teeth there. See, there's still a couple of things that I need to do. But he's at a good pause point. I'm very happy with how the gems turned out. Especially that cracked one. But yeah, this was a really fun thing to paint. And again, like, okay, going back to what we were talking about a lot earlier in the stream, so I know it's not fresh in everybody's mind, and some of you may not have even heard this conversation, but like, if you're ever in a point where you're working on a project and you're like, dog, I just cannot deal with this right now. I am so burned out on this project. I don't really want to work on this right now. Like, honestly, I don't want to work on anything hobby right now. If you get to that point, one of the best things I can recommend to work on to get yourself out of that rut, work on terrain. Because the beauty about terrain is you can do whatever the fuck you want on it. And generally, it ain't gonna matter because it's just terrain. It's either never gonna be used anyways because you don't actually play the game as often as you think you will, but you still have a shit ton of terrain anyways because it comes in the box sets that you buy. Or you will use it and no one's gonna be paying attention to it enough because they're focused on the game and the miniatures that they may or may not have painted. But like generally, like when you get past the initial like, oh, this table looks cool, I might appreciate one or two specific things because I am a particular hobbyist and I admire such things. But generally, terrain is not looked at much, especially when you're in the midst of the game doing your thing, strategizing and trying to kick your opponent's ass. So have fun on terrain and use that as your, I'm working on this so that I can do whatever I want and have a total break from everything else that I have been painting. It gives me at least such freedom, and I hope that it gives you guys a lot of freedom too, because like genuinely, it is like my go-to thing that I will start working on if I am feeling really burned out on painting. Like if I'm like, I just need to stop working on characters or people or monsters or whatever, I will grab some kind of terrain piece and go to town on it. Also, thank you for subscribing, Kiran Halawi. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I'm so sorry if I didn't. I'm shit with saying names. I do my best. I'm sorry. Do the sigil on the banner and quadrant on the shields, blue and white. That's kind of what I'm thinking because I ended up doing quadrants on this shield too, on my original Brettonian that I did. And I think I may end up doing the same thing. I could even possibly mimic this pattern a little bit and do like white with a like, I don't know. Well, the problem is okay, here's the problem. Their color scheme is not a triptych. It's not 3 colors, it's 2. It's just white and blue. And the gold is just a bonus on literally only on her sword. So I would have to I'm gonna have to figure out what I need to do. I might forcibly add in another color and or make it metallic. Like I might just make it look shiny metallic because then what I'm almost thinking, like now what I'm almost thinking I do is on the new one is basically the fabric is white. And then the shield ends up being like blue with the silver, like a platinum as the other color tone. And that's what I do. And maybe I do it as like half shield or something. But that's almost where I'm leaning. Oh, thank you. But yeah, I'm very pleased with how this has turned out. He's looking great. Like I'm excited to get paint onto him because I think it'll look cool. He sits really well, which is fantastic. I'm really excited about the shield. I saw a little bit of a seam on his shoe just a moment ago, so let me see if I can get rid of that. So that's looking better. Yeah, but I definitely think the banner has to have the sigil on it. And maybe his shield needs to have... Oop, hold on. Sorry, I forgot I brought him up real close. Oh, I should also... Hold on. What I should actually do is this. And then that way... There we go. Okay, so yeah, the banner will absolutely have to have the sigil on both sides, which I'm very nervous about doing. I feel like the shield should also have it, but I do think the cloth on the horse is going to be a bit more generic. I'll need to do a little bit more research into the description of the paladins. Nice, we're at 100 likes so far. That's fantastic. Thank you guys for liking the stream. That really does help us out, and I really appreciate it because it tells YouTube that I'm doing a good job and that they should maybe share my content with other people. So thank you very, very much. But yeah, I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased with how my horse and my guy are turning out. What is happening there? We've got about 45 minutes before I normally end it. I'm gonna do the last little bit of cleanup, and then we may end a little bit early, but not too much. And the next time when I see you guys again on Thursday, I won't be streaming tomorrow or anything, but I will be streaming again on Thursday, and this guy should be primed up by that point, and I should be working on him. Paint-wise, we'll probably be starting with the horse, if I'm honest. And we will be filming this for the tutorial. So I'll be disappearing every now and then when that happens, but like not actually. You'll still be able to hear me talking. I'll just be going, I'll be doing this. I'll be going, boop. And then I'll come back when I'm finished recording. You know, that's a fair thing to do. You just see Brettonian Knight stuff and you're like, yes, this is my jam. You have an aesthetic and I appreciate it, sir. I appreciate it immensely. This is not sitting into the base as cleanly as I want, so I'm going to see if I can smooth it down a little bit. And we'll actually get that in more flush, maybe? Maybe? Is that better? That's so much better. All right, I don't think I want to glue him into his base specifically. I think that would probably be a little bit of a bad idea. Well, I don't know. Should I? No, I shouldn't, because if I want to paint his underside and really make sure that it's clean and looks nice, I'm going to need to lift him off the base. Okay, so we're not going to glue him down fully. And this hoof is like, got the grossest mold line on it. I think I've cleaned it though. It's because his horseshoes have little studs in his feet. And I'm trying not to get rid of those, but I also am trying to get rid of the line connecting them to the rest of the damn model. Okay, I'm gonna smooth this out a little bit more. Again, like sometimes the cloth fabric is just a little too stiff. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand it would be a stiff material because it's padded armor for the horse. But I don't think it should have an edge like that. Games Workshop. I have not tried rubbing graphite powder on a mini to make it look metallic. I have done that more as like transferring freehand onto something else to be able to get the foundation of like what I had drawn elsewhere on something else. Does it stick well? Like, how do you seal it to the model once you've done it? Are you using a like adhesive, sorry, not an adhesive. Are you using a aerosol sealant? Like a spray can sealant? Or like how are you sealing it? Oh, well, Zane, I'm very, very happy to hear that. That's my ploy. I bring you in by looking cool, and then I go, look at my pretty toys. Look, I'm building a beautiful horse and a very fancy armored nightman to ride him. Isn't that cool? Charge! That's what I do. That's what I do to bring you in. But yes, I do also work on 40K stuff, actually. We've been I will admit, my last couple of hobby streams have been very Age of Sigmar / Old World focused, and the next couple will be as well, as I continue to work on this Brettonian Knight. But just to give you guys a little preview of something to come that will probably be painted partially on stream, because oh boy, is he gonna take me a while. Boys, ladies and gentlemen, some of you have been waiting for this for a very long time, but Mortarion is on my short list to finally build up and paint. Isn't that exciting? I'm so excited. But that is my potential intended plan. Fingers crossed that nothing else changes, but Mortarion is on the short list. I love the fantasy stuff too. That's the one thing, is like, as much as I love Warhammer 40K, and don't get me wrong, lore-wise, I have always been more interested in what's going on in the Imperium and with the Xenos and just all of that, more so than I've really dived into the narratives of like even Warhammer Fantasy Battles. As much as I love some of the characters, some of the like lore, some of the like artwork and the aesthetic of some of those miniatures, I still know way more and have dived more. Like, I've read more books for Warhammer 40K than I ever have Age of Sigmar or Warhammer Fantasy Battles, just flat period. So I would definitely say I am much more a like fan of the narrative of 40K, but goddamn does fantasy get some gosh darn beautiful miniatures. And I'm very sad that we aren't seeing that same love given to the Warhammer 40K miniatures right now, except for maybe the Space Wolves. I feel like the Space Wolves have gotten the best, like... Sorry, my neighbors were suddenly loud for a moment. It was very distracting. I think 40K has like, or like the Space Wolves are one of the few, like Tyranids looked really cool too. I think the Tyranids got a really nice revamp for in regards to like the Xeno. But when it comes to like the Imperium, the Wolves are probably like one of the better made out ones recently. But I feel like they are putting all of their effort to make Space Marines look cool strictly into 30K. Like, you go over to Horus Heresy, you look at the Space Marines over there, and they look sick as hell. They have the detail that I miss in my 40K models. But for some reason, they're just stripping all that away out of 40K. I mean, we talked about this earlier. Blood Angels, I think, have gotten completely destroyed because I think the sort of Catholic symbolism that is referenced with them is too much, and GW can't handle it, so they gotta strip it away. The Black Templars have all of the crusading problems and like issues there. They are getting stripped of a lot of their iconography and some of their more fun aesthetics because it could be problematic because people don't know how to separate fantasy from reality. But like, GW can't handle that, and so things are changing, and it's very sad to see. But yeah, like Heresy, like Horus Heresy, dude, you look at all of those miniatures and they look sick as hell. Like, they look so freaking cool. And I am so bloody jealous of like just the fact that that game system is getting the love and attention and detail orientation that I want and miss in the main game that got me into Warhammer in the first place. Like, 40K was what drew me into Games Workshop's products in the first place. But it is definitely not my favorite of their systems. That's Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl's the best. Will forever be my favorite system that GW produces, period, because it is the one system that has maintained its humor. They haven't stripped it all out of them yet. But yeah, I'm looking forward to actually finally unboxing and assembling my Mortarion and putting some damn paint on him. It's been also forever since I have painted any Death Guard. especially on the channel, but just in general. So I am extremely hyped to play around with that old color scheme, especially since I feel like my skill and patience and basically everything about my painting style and abilities has upgraded since the last time I painted any Death Guard. And I'm so hyped to do like something really cool, hopefully, fingers crossed, on Mortarion. Like I don't have a specific plan yet. That will probably come as I actually have built him. Because generally for me, I will go into a model like for this guy, for example, like even my Brettonian Knight. I have a general plan for what I know what I want to do because I want to base it off of Overlord. And specifically the Sacred Kingdom and the paladins from the Sacred Kingdom. So like I have a general idea before I even built this. But like now that I have built the horse and the knight, I've already started to develop an even like better idea of like, okay, I knew what my color scheme was going to be, but how am I actually going to apply this to the model? Well, now I've started thinking about that more. And so I have a little bit of a better idea of like how I can manage that and how I'm going to need to think about this as I approach it. Because obviously it's not going to be one-to-one. The sculpt is not from Overlord, therefore it is not going to be a one-to-one recreation. But I love that like I'm going to get the opportunity to sort of transform this guy into the Warhammer Fantasy Battle equivalent of a paladin from the Sacred Kingdom from Overlord, which is just so fun. And like, it's just, I don't know. I love doing that kind of stuff. And like when it comes to Mortarion, like obviously I know what my color scheme is going to be. I've painted plenty of Death Guard. I know what colors I want to use to make him cohesive to the rest of the army, but how I'll use them on him, what the like proportions of those colors might be on Mortarion versus what I've done on other models, I haven't figured out yet because I haven't built him. And until I've built him, I really don't think I'm going to figure it out. Thank you also so much, Zane, Loadmel, hopefully I said that correctly, for subscribing to the channel. It's lovely to have you join the community. You're going to do an unboxing video next? That sounds awesome. All right. Okay, I think the horse is looking good. I'm going to smooth with a slightly lower grit because that's a bit firm. Yeah, this will be good. This edge, because he's supposed to be in cloth, so I want it to be a little bit more of an organic look. Like again, I know it's going to be a firm cloth, but I still want it to look like cloth, so I feel like it should be a bit soft and smooth. Make sure to clean up that mold line. Again, just little areas, especially along the face, where there might be specific details that I want to pop out. We just want to really make sure those areas are clean. Because it is wild to me how even the tiniest of mold lines can just show the fuck up really boldly after you've primed them. It's crazy. Am I going to do the knights in all different color schemes? That's the plan, yes. Because this guy is going to, this one that I'm working on right now is going to be in a white-blue color scheme with a bright platinum, like mithril style silver, which is what I'm basing, which is the color scheme that I'm specifically basing off from Overlord. Whereas the previous one that I had done is a red, black, and white color scheme with gold focus, which is just, this was meant to be the Warhammer Fantasy Battle version of my hobby knights, which are my Blood Angel Space Marine chapter, like my homebrew successor chapter. That's the word I'm looking for. Oh my god, I could not remember the word successor. They're my successor chapter for my Blood Angels. And so I made a hobby knight as a knight. So that's the first one. So that's that color scheme. This one is, like I said, going to be based off the Sacred Kingdom in Overlord. If you know it, you know it. It's a white, blue, and platinum color scheme, or mithril color scheme, I guess. What is happening? Why is that not fitting? It was fitting so well before. We're good there. We're good there. But yeah, as I continue to slowly build up this Brettonian army, yes, I do want all of the knights to be different colored. That's one of the things that I love about Bretonnia, is that they aren't matchy-matchy and that they get to be a little hodgepodgey. And I do like the idea of having, like, I like the idea of this literally being like the olden days where it's a bunch of noble sons who've all been like, bro, you want to go to war together? We should form a group. And then they like have their little band with their little dudes. And it's just a bunch of like dumbass nobleman sons running around with their heraldry being little shits. That's my plan. So that is what I'm going to go for, because it's funny and it makes me laugh. And if you aren't having fun with your miniatures, what the hell are you doing? It's meant to be fun. Yeah, that banner's looking good. I'm very excited. And also terrified to freehand that sigil onto both sides of this banner, but it'll be sick. It'll be like, for the lady. Princess what's her name, who got, well, I won't spoil that. I won't spoil that, never mind. Never mind. In case you guys decide to go watch it. I actually recommend listening to the light novel on audiobook, if I'm honest. Like, I love the anime, don't get me wrong. I love the anime. Do not get me wrong. But the light novel provides so much more depth. And I might be a smidge biased right now. Have a good night, God to the Zilla. It was lovely to have you in chat. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, the horse rump is looking pretty good. We have a bit of disgusting mold lines on this very thin line on his butt. But I'm going to see if, oh, I may have dug into that a little hard, but that's okay. I think overall we're okay. Got rid of that one. Okay, that's the legit most success I've ever had with doing a cleanup with an X-Acto blade. It's the closest I've ever come to being like, huh, maybe they do have something when it comes to this. At least for fine details. Or like weird curves, because it is just narrow enough that it really does do quite a good job. Have my eyes been opened? Maybe. Did I just fuck it up? That's what we're gonna find out. No, I did not. Okay, good. All right, I don't like how the, oops, the lines here just kind of stop. So let me see if I can bring that in a little bit. Nope, I completely got rid of that line. Okay, well, I'm just gonna leave it then. It's fine. It's fine. Anything else? Anything else where there's awkward, gross, really hideous mold lines? No, but that could use a little bit of smoothing from where I put some gap fill. Using sprue glue, which, by the way, for those of you that are unfamiliar with what sprue glue is, it is when you take extra thin Tamiya cement, and you put tiny bits of cut up pieces of sprue because this shit melts plastic. And then when it does that, you then get a bottle of goop, which is what this is. So that's a bunch of melted sprues mixed in with Tamiya glue, and it creates a really lovely gap fill. Are mold lines one of the biggest issues when building minis? I would say they're definitely up there for sure. There's a lot of issues you can run into with building miniatures. They're all overcomeable, but some can be more annoying than others. Mold lines, I would say, are just more the most common because all miniatures are going to have mold lines. There's like, I've never seen a mold line or a miniature without a mold line before. They can be very small. They can be nearly non-existent. I have seen some very clean miniatures out of the box, but I have never seen one without any mold lines. They will be there. It's just part of the mold making or the miniature making process. It's injection molding usually, and there's just going to be, it's hot plastic squeezed into a mold, comes out. There's going to be mold lines. But I would say like the biggest issue when building miniatures is more so when a piece isn't fitting like you're expecting it to. Because either it's a cheaply made miniature and therefore the joints don't actually fit well, or it's what GW likes to do sometimes where they make really awkward fitting joints because there's like one little way that you're supposed to like lock it into place. And if you don't get it in that exact position, it sits really fucking weird on there. And sometimes it is not easy to figure that out. And sometimes they make them so subtle that you can completely rub them away with like sandpaper by accident when you're doing cleanup around them because they almost inevitably will put a sprue connection point in that joint, which means you got to clean it up, which means you inevitably take pieces of... Maybe this is just a me problem. Maybe you guys don't have this issue, but like I cannot tell you the number of times where I will get on a modern GW model, there will be an arm. And unlike this Brettonian Knight, where it's nice and beautiful and flat and goes on to a nice, beautiful, flat, chest connection point, like here, mind-blowing. Mind-blowing to have flat connection pieces so that they go together well and don't have massive gaps, GW. It's mind-blowing. Modernly, they have these weird lumpy armpits, okay? Because they're like, we're gonna have it fit under and make it so you can't kit bash stuff and like change things around. Heaven forbid. Can you tell that I'm passionate about this? And it'll be this lumpy little mess, and they'll put a fucking connection point right on that joint. And you have to clip it away, and then you gotta like scrape and like clean it and smooth it down. But inevitably, in that cleanup process, you're smoothing down parts that they probably don't want you to smooth down, and now it's not gonna fit correctly. And it drives me bonkers. Because I feel like it happens a lot modernly with Space Marines, and I hate that. We are English, just have a cup of tea. I can't just have a cup of tea. I gotta rant. Oh yes, if you guys have not seen, not only did we lose Ozzy Osbourne, Hulk Hogan, who cares? I know some people in the wrestling community do. I get that, but like, I did not like the man. Period. And so, but we also lost Mr. Tamiya. Like, the gentleman who founded Tamiya, the model making company, he passed away, I think, about a week and a half ago. It was before Hogan, after Ozzy. Okay, I think we're good now, though. In all of my ranting, Wait, is that a mold line underneath his chin in a place where Games Workshop, you mother truckers. What the fuck, GW? Oh my god, that's bogus. That was wild. I cannot even. Wow. Did you have one? You don't have one. I didn't have to clean one up on him. Oh my god, there is one actually. Well, you know what? It worked out because I divided that one in half and it was fine. Oh my god, I cannot believe. Okay, I think the horse is now a horse, of course. Oh my god, he's Hunter Horse Helmsley! If you know, you know. I'm not gonna explain that one. You can Google it. No, he's not a cowboy horse. That egregious line. Okay, there we go. Excellent. Clean that up a little bit more. Sometimes you gotta blow really hard on them to get the dust away. It's not Triple H. It's Hunter Horse Helmsley. Not Hunter Hearst Helmsley. They are different creatures. One is a human being. One, as his name tells you, is a horse. Okay, I will actually explain it. Hunter Horse Helmsley, if you guys don't remember, was the horse that Adam Page, Hangman Adam Page, you know, from AEW, rode into the arena during his, I think, first, like, win? Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be. I can't remember if this was the same horse now, but I think it was, because I think this was just before it passed, because this horse is not alive anymore. I do think it passed away, but it was Hangman Adam Page's horse, and I believe he rode this horse into his match against Jon Moxley at, was it All Out, All In? One of the big ones. It's one of the big AEW pay-per-views. The first time that he won the heavyweight championship off of Mox. I believe that was the horse. I do know that the Krieg ride horses. And technically, I think technically TKO runs WWE, but yes, Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, is the like creative director. He's like in charge of creative. Because Vince, thank goodness, is out. Oh, was it Stadium Stampede? Is that when it happened? Okay, I knew it was like one of the big events where he, yeah, I can't remember exactly which show it was, but I swear it was the one where he rode the horse through the city and then into the arena to face Jon Moxley. And it was the first time I remember this because I went to a Regal theater to watch this pay-per-view because I was like, oh, that's really cool because they were advertising, hey, you can buy this AEW pay-per-view and go watch it in a theater. And I was like, that sounds rad. Because also it's kind of a way to go and watch the show with a bunch of other pro wrestling fans and have that vibe, right? Without having to physically go to the show. So Chaos Cultist and I did it, and the fucking theater ended the pay-per-view before the main event was over. And the entire audience was furious. We got our money back because they ruined the main event. They didn't show it. And they got it back on, I think, after he had already won, which means we missed the finish. I was enraged. Chaos Cultist was even more enraged because this is like, Chaos Cultist loves Adam Page. Like, he is like one of his favorite wrestlers modernly, and I don't blame him. And like, he was so invested. And then to have to basically be cucked by the theater to not see the final, the ending of the pay-per-view when he wins. Oh, they're both pieces of shit. It's not a competition. They don't need to compete against each other. They're both equal pieces of shit. Period. And that's all we're going to say about it. We're going to move off of this conversation because I don't want to talk about them. Those people are not worth the time, especially Vince. Unfortunately, the other one's relevant because he's the president right now, but that's the only reason he's relevant. It was the second Stadium Stampede? Got it. Okay. Yeah, honestly, and I remember after that happened, we were not the only theater that had that occur to them. I heard about it on Twitter. I think I heard a bunch of other people complaining about it. And one of the reasons I don't think you see that happening as much, I do think it still might occur every now and then, but you don't see it nearly as often because I think I think AEW was like, oh, well, we don't want to be losing money on this because our fans are getting pissed because the theaters are cutting off our shows before they're actually over. Now, granted, it went longer than what the theater had advertised, but it was fucking midnight or something. It was really late at night. They didn't have another showing coming in. They could have just let us finish. They could have just let us finish the damn pay-per-view, but they didn't, and they cut it off, and we got our money back because we were furious, and I don't blame it. Oh my God, John Cena is actually fantastic. I don't really know if I love his heel closing run right now that he's doing in WWE, but the man himself, the person, the human being that is John Cena, top. Absolutely love it. Also, I love that he is kind of like his character, oh my God, the one from Suicide Squad that was had a little cameo in Superman. I love that character is kind of bridging the gap between old DC and modern DC because they're changing, they're updating things, et cetera, et cetera. The Black Adam shit that happened is kind of no longer relevant and even talked about really, et cetera. Same with Shazam because both The Rock and the actor that played Shazam both had controversies and it just killed that entire segment of DC so hard. But I feel there's a bridge that's been happening and I feel it's definitely what is his name? Peacemaker. Thank you. Yes, Peacemaker. Yes. I feel Peacemaker is weirdly bridging the divide between the Snyderverse versus modern. He is the modern, he is basically Deadpool in DC, absolutely. But he's doing such, like, he is standing out though. Like, the nice thing is I don't look at Peacemaker and go, Deadpool. Like, I never immediately jump to that conclusion. I definitely see the equivalencies and how they are mirrors and like foils of each other in the two universes. But unlike sometimes when there are certain other characters in Marvel and DC where you go, huh, that's literally a copy of that guy. Huh. I don't get that with Peacemaker and Deadpool, which is the nice thing. That's them going, we should have a character like that, but maybe not copy it full blown, just like, you know, exactly as is, because I do feel like that occasionally happens. It's almost like they were competing against each other and trying to focus on the same market and drawing in the same audiences, isn't it? Holy moly. Man, I love the history of comics. That's kind of why I went and studied it in college. Also because I wanted to be a mangaka. Because I was delusional. Now instead I paint miniatures for a living. Well, I do some other things for a living too, but mostly paint miniatures. Anyways, it is actually almost 5 o'clock. Look at that. We killed time, talked about some fun stuff, and continued to hang out. So I'm gonna go ahead and call the stream now because I am feeling very satisfied with how my horse is looking. I think my knight is looking really good. I'm not seeing any egregious mold lines anywhere that are standing out. I'm not even having the, oh, I just said that and then I found one. No, I'm literally not finding any. I'm very happy with how this has turned out. So he's ready for priming, which I'll probably do tomorrow off camera. And then you guys will be back with us, me and my knight here, on Thursday. So if you guys want to see more Brettonian Knight work, but this time getting started on the painting, then stop back by on Thursday starting at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or Pacific Summer Time, whatever. Pacific Time, California Time. And I will see you guys then. But until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Have an especially lovely hobby night, everybody. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here. Genuinely, thank you for all the likes. I really appreciate. Sean, it was lovely to see you as well. Thank you so much for being here. You were so done with superheroes and Peacemaker brought me back in. Washed out hobbyist. If I can read, it would help me say your guys' names correctly. I completely understand that. I completely understand that. Well, you guys, thank you so much for being here. New sub English time. Oh, so 1 p.m. my time is, I believe, 9 p.m. English time, UK time. Luke, is that correct? You're also in the UK, are you not? So I think it's 9. I think it's a 9 p.m. start time for those of you in the UK. It's in the evening at least. That's all I can remember. We're an 8-hour difference, I believe. That's what I think it is. I think it's an 8-hour difference. I'm not 100% sure, but whatever California time is your residual equivalent, you can literally type it into Google and go, 1 p.m. in California is what time here? And it'll tell you. That's what I do because I always forget and I never do the conversions correctly. Literally, I will double check. I'll be like, Eastern Standard Time. What is it in UK time? What is it in Europe? Excellent. You've added to the notifications. That's fantastic. Thank you guys so much for doing that. Thank you so much for the likes and all the chats and comments and everything. If you guys are watching this on demand later, thank you guys for that as well. Do leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you're excited about the color scheme I'm thinking about, what you might do on your Brettonian Knight instead. What color scheme would you go with? So let me know down in the comments if you're watching this on demand. Or, I mean, if you watch this live, you can also put that down in the comments too afterwards. That would be swell, actually. That would be swell. Go engage with the video after it's finished as well. Do it. Do it, I demand it. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. You guys are all lovely. Anyways, all right, guys. I've rambled enough at you. I have glazed you enough as well. I hope it's been sufficient. Genuinely, it's not glazing. I do actually legitimately appreciate every single one of you, whether you are a lurker or an active chatter. You guys make this so fun for me, and it just is something that I love doing. So genuinely, thank you. And I feel like since I've started doing more hobby streams and actually working on some of my like video content while live with you guys, I feel like I've been progressing through that a lot more. So genuinely, like I legit mean this. Thank you guys so much for being here and encouraging me and just hanging out with me. So you guys have been awesome. I love hanging out with you, and I'll see you guys on Thursday at 1 p.m. or your regional equivalent. See you guys later. Bye, everybody.